emergencies.
This is the Radio Generation News. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks. These are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
A very good evening to you and welcome to the Generation Report. My name is Mungana Mbuvi. This is Radio Generation on 88.8 FM. My name, like I've said, is Mungana, but in studio today, I am joined by the one and only Hanifa Hadan. Hanifa, habari asubuhi?
Salam.
Oh, habari ya jioni. Mbona nashinda nikisema asubuhi? I think history ya asubuhi it will need to be bolted out.
Yes.
But nonetheless, habari ya jioni?
Salama.
Waambaje?
Sina la kuamba. Niko na mengi la kuamba.
Lakini kwa sasa
kwa sasa sina la kuamba.
Basi niko naye pia Abdi Samad Loge. Abdi, how are you doing, bro?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
You're well? Sikia vinyati ameka abuse ya I'm fine.
Kwa nini au mwambie waambaje? Mimi ndio umeona tu rushie.
Wewe lazima ningekuuliza waambaje. Yeye najua ni Mswahili. I don't know kama umesikiza news zake za Kiswahili. Huyu jamaa kwanga ameivisha Kiswahili sana. Kwanza ukisikia akiongea ile mukta na bugdha, akiongelea mambo ambayo yanakutekerenyeka figo. Huyu jamaa ameweza.
Excellent kubwa sana.
Unajua ameniambia ushago kwao. Umeniambia ushago ni Wajia. The first time I saw you do Swahili news, I was like, wait a minute. Not that I do not know, not that people in Wajia don't know Swahili, but it's because the very many times we interacted, I honestly never heard you speak in Swahili until I saw the news and I was like, huyu jamaa kumbe amekuwa kijificha. But nonetheless, good job. You're well?
Yeah.
Hanifa, how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Relaxing. I was just at home. Nimerelax. Yes.
Na wewe Abdi, weekend yako ilikuwa vipi?
Ilikuwa salama kabisa.
I
had a good weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, kabisa.
With Arsenal losing.
Labda wewe. Mimi nilikuwa na support Man City. Sasa tumecharaza Arsenal.
Lakini nikuulizaje, ulikuwa na support Man City because you're a Man City fan?
I am actual Man City fan. And I had
me it's because of the hate I have for Arsenal.
Why on earth would you hate Arsenal? Do you know I am actually rooting for Arsenal to carry the EPL?
No, we would
I'm a Liverpool fan.
Arsenal are bottlers. They will
Watch
bottle. At the end of the day, they can't handle that pressure.
Yeah.
You know, you need to handle that pressure
when
it comes to the end games, towards the end of the Premier League. They don't want that to be associated with EPL. I don't know whether it is something big for them to win, so that they are afraid.
But EPL is quite a big thing, guys. Let's just be honest. Liverpool tulipata last season. This season tumefumba na kufumbua. Kidogo tunaona inapepea. But nonetheless, tuko top 5 and we hope we remain until the very end of the season. But anyway, before we become Sports Garage, let's get down to business, shall we? You were telling me something about some of the things that you're reminiscing upon on this third week.
Yes. So in our third week of the things that you have probably forgotten about as a Kenyan, whether tragedies or scandals, I want to talk about Endarasha.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the Endarasha hillside fire tragedy that happened in 2024. So I want Kenyans to remember.
Yeah.
To remember how it happened and to remember how the smallest caskets are the heaviest. The Endarasha fire, Hillside Academy fire, happened in 2024. A deadly, devastating tragedy that unfortunately took the lives of 21 children, mostly boys between age 10 to 14 years.
Yeah.
No one has been held to account up until now.
Yeah.
Have the lives of our children become so disposable? So the dormitory, according to the reports, is believed to have been overcrowded. First things first. It was housing more than students, recommended students. So reports also indicated limited emergency exits. So it limited the the evacuation process, which I can't believe that something that happened in a dormitory that has and was housing children, that many children.
The first time I heard of a fire was I don't know if you guys remember Changuli.
Yes, that actually was the worst of all. It was the worst tragedy we ever had.
And I never thought we would ever witness anything of that sort ever again.
So the Endarasha the families of the 21 boys who died in the fire actually sued the government and the related bodies, backed with the Kenya Human Rights Commission and Elimu Bora Working Group.
Yeah.
They have sued the state and the school for failing to protect their children's life. But up to now, almost 2 years later, no one has been held to account.
I am certain that the parents of the school are obviously following up through their lawyers and so on and so forth. But I agree with you. Perhaps there should have been a longer, maybe louder outcry to ensure that justice prevails and also to prevent something of the sort ever happening again. And especially right now that we're having buildings collapsing left, right, and center. We are hoping that schools that are currently being constructed or have already been constructed are being constructed to standard, because the last thing we want to hear is from a fire to a building collapsing with children inside.
And we have so many cases of fire breaking out in school. We've always had such cases, but no proper mechanism is still being endorsed. I don't know, but we are just becoming numb to the death of our children in this country.
If something happens again, Loge, who should be held accountable? Who do you think should be held? Yes.
If fire breaks out in schools, ni nani unaona anafaa kuwa held accountable?
Actually, the people who are responsible for that are the people, when it is a student or a fire breakout in a certain institution, whether it is school, whether it is university, whether it is hospital, those people who are responsible are the leaders who are maintained to look after the lives of those people. Because, for instance, if you are in this studio and fire breaks out, then the person responsible is the person who owns the building.
Right.
So just like that, then the lives are being responsible by those people who
the
are
school management.
The management, and again far end by the government then, because you have to protect the lives of Kenyans. So
government is a regulator, but yes.
So she actually mentioned something about that fire.
Yeah.
But there is a norm in Kenya where we have normalized forgetting incidents that happen, where it is
such tragedies.
You remember about the Garissa attack, Al-Shabaab Garissa attack on universities.
Yeah.
I have heard that some families have not been compensated yet. So you can imagine 142 lives lost, and some of them have not been compensated till today. If you are the family, if you are the father or parent to that child, how will you have felt? So we need to take up the task of trying to, as a government, they need to have that strategy to help compensate every life that is lost.
True, they should. Speaking of hospitals, here we are again. We are having issues with something that we witnessed a couple of days ago when the Senate committee visited some hospitals. You remember also that incident that happened at Ishiara Hospital where 2 people were killed while they were just demanding better services. Yes, they were protesting, but the protest was about demanding for better services, and they were asking that they deserve better. These are tax-paying Kenyans. These are people who go to these hospitals. They seek treatment in these hospitals. I don't know when is the last time you were, at least you told us that you were in hospital recently. There's a time I also went to hospital and I had a very severe pain in my abdomen, and I cannot imagine if I had gone to a hospital na nipate hakuna services, madaktari hawako, there are no syringes, there's no medicine. I was in a pain, I was wailing like a child. I cannot imagine what would have happened if I had gone to that hospital and nipate hakuna services.
And we're talking about thousands of people who live in Embu, thousands of them waiting for services.
Yeah, so I think we have the clip somewhere here. If we can just get the audio. And the video as well.
Tunataka audit of number of patients, wale ambao wanakuwa wanatibiwa kwa hii facility na wale wanalala. Tunataka pia watuambie the previous year 2024 2025 budget ya hizo ndawa, nani mwenye alikula hiyo pesa?
Tunataka ambulance mpya kwa hii hospitali, sababu hospitali yetu inachukua ushuru na inalipa pesa yenye inaweza kujitegemea kwa hii hospitali.
Mwaka wa 2024 na 2025 hii hospitali ya Ishara iliweza kuokota 13 million. Hiyo pesa hatujaona renovation yoyote. Mwaka huu wa 2025 2026 the year up to March wameokota a whooping 19 million. Hiyo ni kitu tumefanya investigations mpaka wa county. Hii hospitali ukiingia kuanzia choo, kuanzia ambulance, hakuna kitu imefanywa saa hii.
Those are residents, of course, detailing what has been happening in that particular area. Abdi, what do you make of such a situation? This guy has documented something close to like 4 years where nothing is. Do you know, like a whole year passes and another one and another one? Surely
there's no change.
What are we doing?
So what people don't understand is that in Article 43 of the Constitution, every person or Kenyan has the right to attainable standard of healthcare, which includes right to healthcare services. So what the government has to provide those kind of healthcare services. And if these people come up with grievances and they are not comfortable with the state of level 4 hospitals, then they need to hear their grievances, not to shoot and kill them. No, the problem is that the state of hospitals in the country is quite deplorable, which I simply mean that since the invention of the devolution, the hospitals have been put into a place where they are not, you can simply think that, there are no changes at all completely.
And one of the biggest questions the residents were asking, Hanifa, is si ati pesa hazikujangi huko, zinaendanga wapi?
And they know, you see, I love the fact that they're out there protesting for better hospital services, and they're laying the facts bare, telling you the wanakwambia amount na wanakuuliza imeenda wapi. They are aware of their rights. They're coming out to demand, to ask pesa imeenda wapi. We are suffering.
Did you see the senator of Kisii, Senator Richard Onyonka? He was perturbed, agape. It's like he was losing fahamu. Take a look at the good senator, how he reacted when he went to this particular area and found what he found. For me, like his reaction was the one.
Governor and his executive and his members of the county assembly can come and look at this facility. This is so embarrassing. It is so depressing. It is so sad. As a Kenyan, I am shocked that these things do exist in our country. A beautiful health center which has just been collapsed into zero. And these things collapse because of corruption, stealing public resources, just because some few people want to be rich. Then you leave the whole community naked. I really want Governor Cheboy to this cannot be his standard.
Yeah, so that is Baringo County. The ceiling is non-existent. Water is pouring from what looks like, hata sijui kama ni maji safi, sijui kama ni maji taka, sijui kama ni sewage. This is a hospital.
You'd be surprised. Most of I visited Kilifi, and I was shocked. I even shared it on my social media page before they sent goons after me.
They did what?
They sent goons after me. And I was in Kilifi after I highlighted what was going on in schools and in hospitals. Heartbreaking it doesn't even describe the feeling. The hospitals are in such pathetic conditions. It's not fair. We cannot live like this. We deserve better as a country. We deserve better.
We do.
What people don't know is that the kind of poor facility in the hospitals is actually what is killing more patients. The hospital is an institution where the patients go for treatment. It shall not become a place where the patients
Go to
die due to poor conditions. And far end to more worse, in northern Kenya, you might be able to see the state of a level 4 hospital only operates during the day, and during the night it is home and stray for animals like donkeys. And shelter from cold.
Are you serious?
I
I'm
believe
serious.
you.
Due to the poor electricity, you find out the shortages of nurses, staffs, poor water facilities, and poor electricity will make the staff go during the night,
and the lack of water makes it worse.
It worse. And you find out that, when you go there during the night, it is completely dark. You don't think that this is a hospital. And during the day, it is functioning then.
Hold on. Are you saying that is it like the entire northern frontier?
It's literally all of them, the hospitals. I don't know if you've seen videos of people coming out. Even people came out to describe the situation and what was going on in hospitals, the lack of medicines, the lack of any basic necessity that was necessary for a good service.
So during the day I go there, I find nurses, doctors, and I'm treated. But at night,
well functioning.
If you are lucky,
during the night,
donkeys and camels come in.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but
that's the actual truth.
That is a high level negligence.
A high level and devolution has brought more worse to the people of Kenya than those money that was meant to be done or sacrificed for the lives and the healthcare services have been misused by few individuals who call themselves leaders, but they are politicians. So this money has swayed away. They have been invested in many other places. We don't know where. Maybe they say in Nairobi, outside the country. You find out that the hospitals have completely been outmatched. Unasema si hisi hospital kabisa.
Loge, I hosted your deputy governor here. We were with City Muga, and we asked him some of these things, like for example tunasikia rumors mnashinanga Nairobi sana baada ya kushinda zile counties zimepigwa kura. Alisema hivi that the reason why they are in these areas in Nairobi specifically is because they are here to lobby for the funds so they can be given that money to go back to Nini. Alisema hivyo. And I asked him, so does it mean that if you are in Wajir or Mandera or Garissa pesa ikuji?
You'd be heartless.
The first thing, if you are a leader, you have to do is you have to be with your people. You don't
to understand the situation better.
To understand the situation in northern Kenya. You need to be there with your own people. What many leaders in this country do is that they don't live in the places that was
they're supposed to represent.
They need to represent.
I even interviewed your deputy governor, and he said the same thing.
Oh my day, I can imagine.
Alisema for the funds to be released, you have got to go to State House and dance.
And you live there.
His words, not mine.
And you live there for a whole year then.
Alisema lazima uende kwa State House kidogo, unajua useme venye hivi itakutenda, ndio sasa uambiwa sasa your billions ndio hizi.
Billions imebadilisha nini since they're going to State House to lobby,
and then now you're telling me that you guys are treated in the same buildings that donkeys were sleeping last night.
No, in this country, if we need to go forward, we need to work on certain places like infrastructure, healthcare service, education. Those are the kind of
actually a country is judged by the state of the education and healthcare.
So if you want to destroy a certain community, then you destroy the healthcare, you destroy the education.
Yes.
It's completely done.
And they're killing people for protesting and coming out to say this is not right. So how exactly do they want us to go about this? You're killing people who are coming out to say we deserve better healthcare.
Imagine killing someone who is protesting because of poor healthcare service. Instead of listening to them, you are replicating them with gunshots.
And these guys, don't forget, have already paid you taxes. So it's not like they have not
Yeah,
paid.
it's not a favor. It's not. By the way, they should not even be on the streets protesting for basic needs like healthcare.
Yeah. Our next story, unfortunately, takes us to another situation, the fuel crisis that the country is currently... Well, the world is facing a fuel crisis. Let's not make it personal. It's Kenya only. We were just talking with the City Muga again sometime last week, and we were looking at the fuel prices. We compared to Malawi, our brothers and sisters down south. Those guys are paying 390 Kenya shillings per liter. Sisi tunalipa, I mean, yetu ni mbaya, yetu iko 197, si ndio?
We can compare with Uganda and Tanzania. We can compare.
Of course we can, and we should, because at the end of the day, a lot of questions have been asked. And I remember this morning, who are we hosting this morning? And I asked him, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting this person we hosted, and we asked him, Advice Mundalo. Advice Mundalo was telling us that we have got to consider the fact that our fuel is in terms of quality, is not the same standard that our neighbors get. That is how he explained it, and he was like, so of course in terms of pricing it might end up being differently, I don't know if you get, so ukikunywa sparkling water for example na Hanifa kunywe hii ya kawaida, sparkling water will be a little bit more expensive because there's a luxury that comes with sparkling water. Unakunywa, unasikia nika unakunywa soda. Yeah, so anyway, that's how he explained it, that perhaps these are some of the things that we need to consider when we look at why our neighbors could be having cheaper fuel than us. And I kind of was like, okay.
That is okay, but I have a question. The G2G deal. What exactly was it meant to achieve? How did they sell it to us?
The government to government deal, yes.
Yes. If my memory serves me right.
Right.
Was it not to cushion Kenyans from the high cost of fuels?
It was,
It was supposed to, right?
Right.
But we still suffered the same. It's okay.
Yeah.
I have some pointers I wanted to do, but you can go
No. Me, I had enough time to talk about it, so I'll allow you to say this. What are your thoughts? Yes.
Okay, so what the G2G deal was supposed to do, but I believe this, in my own opinion, it was supposed, they came out to say it's going to cushion Kenyans against the high fuel prices.
Yes.
But I'm reading here, it says the G2G deal on its own cannot carry the political weight of rising fuel prices. So what was it meant to achieve? So to manage the dollars,
yes.
To also, the government is trying to cut on taxes, keeping the G2G structure to manage dollars.
Yes.
So who is the deal designed to protect? If it's the currency, maybe it has some partial success. If it's the currency.
Yeah.
So if it's consumers, now us, the rising cost of fuel, the results are far less convincing. So they need to come out and tell us, Ninini.
Yeah.
Is it stabilizing the currency,
right,
or to cushion us against the high cost of fuel?
Yesterday, I was listening to Mheshimiwa Matiang'i talking with Jeff Koinange, and some of the things he said that no one has seen this G2G deal. Like nobody has seen it. Apparently Parliament discussed it. Of course, the cabinet talked about it. They did whatever. The ones who came up with the framework anyway. The president knows it. But no one seems to tell us what this G2G. Ama logewe kuna jua ambacho hatujui.
Tuambie.
Hii sutu umevaa inakaa inaongelea.
Inakaa knowledge, yeah?
No,
the
like
G2G knowledge.
But, G2G knowledge, I have not that much idea with. I asked so many people about the G2G, and the way they explained to me, it has simply portrayed in an image where you're able to see few individuals benefiting from the well-being of the profit of other Kenyans. So this, to me, actually, I've heard, and the way I look from my point of view is that there are senior government officials who have done this engagement with those countries that they are calling themselves G2G, because if indeed it was a government to government, which they mean, it could have benefited Kenyans. And these people are not there to benefit Kenyans. They actually take away from them. There is always subtraction, no add. So, and what they usually do is they come up with a problem. They create a problem and find it with a solution.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't even solve the problem.
Yeah.
So the problem we have is, the main a challenge we have as a country is corruption. All of us know that.
Yeah.
But we keep on discussing and saying and repeating day after day that corruption is killing. We need to come up with new ideas. And this G2G is not benefiting totally Kenyans.
Yeah.
So we need to stay. They have not given us the explanatory of what it means and how it benefits Kenyans.
There's Martin Chomba. He is the chairman of Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya. Kuna kitu alisema. Let me see if I can. Here we go. He actually said it while here at Radio Generation. Let's listen to this.
If a station in Kerugoya town was doing 5,000 liters a day, if you take that 5,000 and everybody else does not have fuel around there, they'll come Vamia, and before you know it, in 2 hours time, that product is done. The turnaround time for a truck to come to Nairobi and get that product and get it back there again is a day. And so there will be stock out. And so we'll be talking about that shortage, artificial shortage. And unfortunately, what that does, City seated here will scroll TikTok and will see somebody saying there's no fuel in Kerugoya.
Yeah.
So what happens? He extrapolate that across the country and he says, see, I'm going to Nyarugunga next time.
Yeah.
I need to fuel. So akitoka hapa nje, hata kama akona pesa ama hana, he would rather fuliza full tank. You do the same, I do the same. Before you know it, psychological shortage causes a serious crisis. So one day he will tell us there is a product in the country, but in actual sense, accessing that product becomes a problem.
Yeah, so that is Martin Chomba. Amesema accessing that product is a problem because we are the ones creating this artificial shortage. And I kind of agree with him to some extent because when we all panic buy, chances are vitu. Unakumbuka wakati wa COVID, kila mtu alikimbia supermarket akanunua tissue. Sijui tissue ligena saidi aje. Wakati wa COVID.
The panic buying, gosh.
But watu wanunue spirit, methylated spirit, watu wanunue sanitizer.
But tissue is important.
Where? How? Anyway, let's not get into those details, but that is basically more or less what Mr. Chomba was trying to explain by how we panic buy and then we end up creating a shortage. And he was actually saying that there could be hoarding, and he was saying the hoarding is there and it is also not there.
Okay, does hoarding only happens in Kenya?
No,
it's a question that we need to ask ourselves. President Ruto said that we are a middle-income country.
Yes.
And therefore, the state and this kind of fuel prices that goes up, we need to come up with an ideas where we'll be able to state up the level of these prices. So the problem that is coming is not only in Kenya. But we need to ask ourselves, how are the neighboring countries doing? We don't need to compare ourselves only when we need to task.
Want to get the point across. When it comes to taxes, they compare us to UK. The prices in the UK countries are this high, but we are doing better. But when he wants to compare something good, he goes to Tanzania or Uganda. Lakini kifika kwa high taxes, angalieni UK. Look at the other countries, how heavily they are taxed. It's not fair. I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense because neighboring Somalia, which has been a stable country for almost 30 years,
Somalia
is more cheaper. Its fuel prices is more cheaper compared to Kenya, which was a stable country and progressive country.
The unstable, you mean unstable?
Maybe it's stable.
Stable.
Is it stable or unstable?
Somalia is unstable country,
unstable.
Everything. It has been in a civil war for 30 years.
Yes.
Despite that, its fuel prices is much more.
Could you be knowing how much?
Yes.
Could you be knowing how much the fuel cost?
It
in
was
140, 130.
No way.
It's if you can compare all the East African countries, Kenya.
Even Somalia, the life of Somalia is even cheaper than Kenya. I don't know whether.
Which is surprising. That's so surprising. They're doing right by their people.
Are you sure?
with the civil war going on.
You can go online.
Okay, let
and
me
check.
confirm. But
Yeah.
yes, there was
Even Uganda, you can even look at Uganda.
Yeah. So wewe anataka ambia mimi nikitaka mafuta mimi
Enda
niende Somalia.
Kabisa.
Msinikujie.
takujia wewe.
Mimi bana taka shida na mtu yeyote. Now there's this ODM UDA rift, eh? We hosted the acting secretary general of ODM here last week. I called a deputy akanikasirikia sana karibu anichape. Mimi the last I checked nilijua bado Sifuna ndio ama Sifuna ama alishatolewa chokoli na akaenda kabisa.
Officially hajatolewa.
Was he fired? So anyway, those are details. So we had a conversation here with Honorable Catherine. She's also the woman rep for Busia County, and we asked her on this issue, the rift within ODM, what's the deal? Na akasema hapana bana, sisi watu wa ODM tu sawa. Hata historia one term two term, mwenye anasema one term ama two term, that person is wrong, amebant. Na akasema sisi we are working towards the future, which is of course ODM capturing power, or at the very least having some kind of coalition with the ruling party, which is Kenya Kwanza. Now, in case you missed that conversation, I will take a listen to this.
Angalia wananchi wakiumia na mimi niko mzuri atinaimba broad based. No, broad based itakuwa broad good, broad better, broad wide, broad extended to our people when they are happy. So lazima nyinyi kwanza, then sisi. But sisi kwanza alafu nyinyi, it is wrong. Watoto wetu, wavulana kwa wasichana, wanatembea kwa mguu kwa sababu hawana fare. Petrol, mafuta yoyote imeenda juu, bado iko juu, tunasema ikatwe zaidi, kwa sababu mafuta ikienda juu, bei ya fare pia inafanya nini?
All right, so that is acting SG, Honorable Catherine Omanyo, saying what she has said, and we respect it, but I find sometimes ODM very confusing. I don't know, Hanifa, what do you think?
Trouble in paradise.
I find that party very confusing.
Okay, so she said hawako two term na hawako one term, but they've been singing different tunes, two term tunes. I don't know, I sense trouble, which I don't want to capitalize on so much. Yes. But I think they're acting like any other typical political parties and allies. Na ODM is very confused.
Yes.
I don't know, but for a lack of better word, I think they're confused. Amua, simama, say it with your chest.
Yeah.
So,
the SG here, Abdi Samad, she's saying that, look, guys, we are neither one term, neither two term, but we are working towards some kind of term. Right? But me, when I sit here with other ODM members, members of parliament, senators, and so on and so forth, those especially in the Linda ground side, them, they're 100% two-term.
Yes.
They are saying that they're supporting President William Ruto for a second term, which is their right. Then when I sit also with folks from Linda Mwananchi, them they're like, hapo hakuna kusupport na support, sisi ni one term, ODM needs to figure out its own kingship. Then here now the SG is saying that guys, what we are trying to say is that we are neither one term nor two term. We shall tell you the term.
Kwa taarifa yenu.
Abdi.
Okay.
Yeah. The expert.
No, I'm not the expert.
The way when you breathe in me, sasa una
and the suit and everything.
No, the co-principal ya ODM since Baba passed away was tunataka power. We had that slogan from them, tunataka power. So in all means, what they want is they want to be in broad-based government, and they want to take the big slots. I wonder when I ask myself about what has splitted ODM at the first place. What has splitted is that some individuals who were wanted to join and take the CS slots have not been given. So, and the fact that it is a 4 slot that was given to ODM when it comes to the CS. So those who have lost that slot have started going against the two-term slogan and the UDA narrative.
So wako divided, kila mtu na interest yake.
Sasa all these politicians, everyone is looking for his interest in the broad-based government, not the interest for Kenyans. So Secretary General for the acting Secretary General for ODM. Catherine, the first place she was in broad-based. She was in Linda Ground and she's still in Linda Ground. But she has started the idea that from now on, she has not decided yet. What could have made her that she was at the first place with the ODM broad-based and just in one night she wakes up and says that
besides hapa hakuna
bado hatuko. So that shows you that there's something that's going to happen before the 2027. You will going to see so many kind of rifts between UDA and ODM.
Have you? No, actually it's already begun.
Yeah, it's already begun.
Did you see what Robert Alai has been tweeting lately? Aye.
Anasema
bwana Robert Alai ni kama anasema bana kuna shida kwa hii chama. Unajua ni kama okay, it's like when you want to dump a girlfriend. I don't know if you've ever dumped one. But when you want to dump a girlfriend, you start accusing her of issues. How hujui kupika, hata siku hizi uendangi salon, ile pesa na kutumianga utumi vizuri. Hivyo ndivyo inaanzanga. And hata kuna methali inasema before a hyena it's young, it accuses them of smelling like goats. Ndio justify kukula sema mia walinuka kama mbuzi bwana. Mimi nikadhani ni mbuzi nikakula. So I feel like that is what is happening within ODM. And then something else. Let's say 1 month, 2 months ago, if you listened to the folks in ODM, they were very sure of whatever statements they put out, whether it's the Linda Mwananchi or the Linda ground side. They are very sure. And they would tell you, we are in or we are out. And of course, for the ground side, we are in this. We are the only thing we are doing is we are having coalition conversations to decide who takes what, this sharing of power thing. But did you hear what Oburu said, I think it was on Friday or Thursday maybe? They said that they have suspended coalition talks until ODM sorts.
And he's also running for president.
Oh, he is?
I saw the video of him. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. There's something in my cheek.
I saw a video of him saying he's running for president.
Right.
Does that add to the ongoing...
Maybe it is, but then he said we've suspended talks.
The recent statements zao za zamani walikuwa nasema they were so sure that they would support Ruto on his second term.
You know what? I want us to listen to this clip. Then we probably give our sentiments on it because it's quite an interesting listen.
I want to make it absolutely clear that our constitution already has a presidential candidate for our party. And that presidential candidate is clearly stated in the constitution of our party. And it is the party leader. And it is the party leader speaking. I am the presidential candidate for ODM if ODM decides that it goes it alone. So anybody who is preparing himself to go for presidential election in ODM, I think is misplaced. If they want to go for presidential candidacy, they should look for another party. But this particular party, the presidential candidacy is already decided by its own constitution.
Where? All right.
I wonder who he's referring to.
But who was said by its own constitution.
No, who is he referring to? Like mwenye anasema ni nani huyo kama anafikiria kurun for presidency na ODM?
According to me, it is him who want to run for president.
I know he's saying if anyone else is thinking the same, ache hiyo idea because yeye ndo anarun. Sifuna, I think it's Sifuna.
No, Sifuna. Gladys. To me.
Yeah, I mean, they were fronting Gladys to be a running mate
for president.
Or rather,
it was her.
There were rumors Sorry, there were rumors that Governor
Gladys
Wanga,
the governor. Okay.
Yes.
So it could be her, it could be another person.
Yes.
He's just making sure.
Yeah, there were rumors that Governor Homa Bay, that is Gladys Wanga, was going to be the running
Yeah,
mate.
running mate.
Then remember at one point there were other names that were fronted.
Oh yes, even Joho.
Governor Joho, or rather
I
former
saw
governor.
the track written.
Who's now a
Jamani.
CS. Who else was being fronted for this thing? Of course,
Nani
now. And who?
the governor.
Guru.
Oh, Anne Waiguru.
Anne Waiguru.
Yeah, but she's not in ODM. She's in UDA, if I'm not wrong. But, but nonetheless, amesema according to the constitution of ODM,
yes,
of which we do not know, we do not have. I thought you were our resident ODM expert, but
I am not.
Clearly you're not. Yeah, but that is what Mheshimiwa Oburu amesema. This is my opinion, and this is my opinion as Paul Mungala Mbuvi.
Lazima you set it straight, eh?
I said it actually even this morning when we were with the City Muga. I said that perhaps Senator Oburu should not run for president. Yeah, because now Mali amefika, not president, sorry, shouldn't run for Senate because he's a senator. I'm assuming he probably want to run for Senate again. I'm thinking now he's too senior for that position. As a party leader atulie, asa yeye kweni mtu wa kupanga party design ya Raila Odinga. Unacheki, Raila ali step away. The only thing that Raila was running for was the presidency. But even him, I think, if he were alive today, I don't know if he would vie in 2027. He'd probably front a younger person and then do a Kibaki Tosha kind of situation. Na aseme kama ni Loge Tosha, and we move on as ODM and we say this is the person we are voting for. I think that is what he would have done. And I think it would be prudent for Honorable Oburu to do something similar and say, look guys, I am definitely not going to run for president because nitawapoteza hizi votes zote. Okay? And this again, I've said, this is Paul Mungala Mbuvi, not Radio Generation. Aseme mimi, nitafanya nini? Sita simama kukua mgombea wa kiti. I will choose Hanifa, for example. Guys, let's support Hanifa. I think that would be actually a better idea. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. It's a good idea, but sasa venye ametest power, I don't think he would run for Senate again as a senator.
Raila still had power even when he did not have any official position.
Yes, but he's not Raila. You see, Oburu and Raila, you cannot compare the two. Even with no authority, Raila had so much power. But mimi naona ni strategy. Him coming out to announce that he's going to run for president means he wants to secure his position as the leader of ODM party, or kuna bargaining tu inaendelea hapo. Unajua venye politicians like preparing bargaining. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, but mi naona tu kuna kitu. I don't think he's going to run for president.
Yeah, he should. I don't think he should.
Mi sidhani kuna kitu tu hapo. Ana prepare some bargaining chip tu mahali.
Which is okay. Yeah,
but si ana confuse watu.
Confuse. So to you, who is splitting ODM?
Who is splitting ODM?
Someone is splitting ODM.
The death of Raila, obviously, was the spark that started the split. But I feel like the split had already been there.
It had already been there.
Yes.
But the fact that Raila was there, everyone was so afraid to go against.
And things.
I think he knew how to handle ODM well.
So now
ODM would have been together up until the elections next year, August 10th. They would have voted. They would have been together. But immediately after the elections of 2027, ODM was going to split.
Okay.
With or without Baba.
To me, ODM should regroup themselves and join the Linda Mwananchi crowd. Linda Mwananchi.
Okay.
Because the fact that I'm saying, Linda, we never had issues since they have joined. Those people who joined Linda Mwananchi have never had the issues of 1 term, 2 term. They only set the tone 1 term. But those who are in Linda ground,
they are not
the recent days, we've realized that, you know,
can people who are in broad-based think to 1 term?
Nowadays, wanasema wengine 1 term, wengine 2 term. You see, Governor Ahmed Abdullahi, Wajir County Governor, the other day when Ruto visited in Mandera, he said that we are saying 2 term and we have no apology to say to make. So that shows you Ahmed Abdullahi is in the broad-based government is in Linda Mona.
Yes, I get you.
Linda Ground. Secretary General, Acting Secretary General Omanyo.
Yes. Catherine
Omayo is saying that you have not decided yet. Oburu is there again, saying that there might be possibility that ODM
will have a
president come to 2027.
Right.
Gladys Wanga is also has been saying something about the 2-term. So all these people who have had issues with 1-term or 2-term are the Linda Ground ODM. So they should decide.
They are confused.
They are very confused. Yeah, compared to the Linda Mwananchi. They are very confused.
But now you see the problem with them joining Linda Mwananchi, the Sifuna group and the Babu Wino group.
It beats the.
Sasa shida hapo itakuwa tu ni moja. Watakuja watapata bana watu walisha set base, wamesha establish. It's like if we were together.
They are being led by Sifuna.
Then you leave now, you go and you start your own thing.
Yes.
If I'm to join you, I'll have to come and conform to what you have already established. So if I was a leader here, for example, I won't come and become a leader in your outfit. If I was, whatever I was doing here, now I have to come and beg you and tell you, Hanifa, huko ni kama nimeona nimechoma.
Yes.
Sasa unaona aje hapa wewe, alafu niambia sasa wewe mbuvi juu umekuja late na tulikuwa tushajipanga, nilishapanga login, nilishapanga nani. Wewe sasa maybe nikuweke pale, juu hapo ndio kuna nafasi imebaki pekee. And that's the thing.
That's the thing. But it is never too late.
Mimi naona ground, Linda Ground.
Lakini si wako broad based.
But
even if they're trying to deny it.
No, if they are satisfied with the broad based, they'll never, when you see that they are complaining about 2-term, 1-term, once they tune in that slogan hatuko kwa 2-term, you can sense that they are not with the broad-based government.
Miote ni kupredictive venye kitu itaenda. Again, this is me si kwangi ati politician ama wanitwaje a pandit. But I'll let you know one thing. This is how I'm saying it. Linda Ground will be swallowed by UDA.
Completely.
Yes. They will be swallowed by UDA and the ones that will remain ndio wataenda na chungwa. Na sidhani hiyo chungu itakuwa as strong as it was.
It's now like more of a tangerine. Tangerine has the texture of a tangerine.
Another stretch where you will be able to find when you compare incidents where, for a country, they say for a country to prosper, another country must be in a demolished or poor state.
Yes.
Just like that, for a party to survive, other party must die. So ODM must die so that UDA survives.
So mangombe wawili kupigania nyasi.
So that is what is making them. And ODM should decide and they should come together. To me actually, because ODM is older than UDA. How many years is old?
20 years.
20 years. UDA is how many years old?
Since the selection.
So ODM going to broad-based government, being swallowed by UDA cannot happen.
Do you know ODM was Raila Odinga and Raila Odinga was ODM? It's just like right now, Kalonzo Musyoka is Wiper and Wiper is Kalonzo Musyoka. The moment Kalonzo leaves Wiper,
it's done for.
Wiper is done. Like completely. Hiyo blue itaanza kukua turquoise kidogo ikue kitu ingine. So it's the same thing. Even UDA right now is President Ruto. The moment Ruto leaves UDA is done. And remember that there's one time he was in this party. What's the name of this party? I'm forgetting it. Before URP, he was somewhere else.
Who?
Was it UDM? He was in some party. Then when he left it died. Then he formed URP. He left URP. Do you even know anyone from URP right now?
No.
But the parties are still there.
I've never heard
of
URP.
They even have a structure. They have I'm sure they have a chairman. They have whatever. But those things are not there. KANU is another very good example. That was a President Moi thing. President Moi was KANU and KANU was President Moi. But where is KANU nowadays?
Completely right.
People even forget the name of the new owner. Gideon Mwe. Once in a while tunakumbuka baadhi kuna senator ambaye si senator saizi. So you see, like that the moment Raila left ODM, that was it.
It was done for.
That was it.
And everyone predicted it.
Now it seems that that will be the end of ODM.
Yeah.
Because if it continues fighting like this,
mimi nakwambia ODM inakuja kuumeza, and I could be wrong by the way.
No, you're right.
ODM itamezwa na UDA. Kuna watu inakwambia saizi mimi ninaona ni loyalists walikuanga ODM damu, waliwanga na baba damu, lakini the moment baba alienda, they need a new baba, and the new baba is President Ruto. Because they will need someone to what is it called, to anoint them so that they can continue enjoying power, whether it's been Senate, whether
so Raila was protecting a lot of political careers.
To the more worse,
yes,
njo ODM will be treated as second class party when they are in UDA.
I think
you can feel that kind of, ODM or UDA will outshine and dominate all the kind of, whether you are in broad-based or I don't care, but
ODM kitamu ingeleta votes gani? ODM ingeleta votes za Northeastern kule, because yao pia walikuanga ODM damu. Ingeleta Coast, ingeleta Western, and then of course Nyanza, including even Kisii, sindio? That is the entire Nyanza region. But now with the absence of Baba, look, Wakisii wamejipanga under Matiangi, sindio? Northeastern inakaa ni kama already nilishaingia UDA.
Hata wale ODM wana support UDA.
Haya, Western au pia sasa Western sasa wameanza kutengeneza kitu yao. Kuna wale wa Tawe movement under George Natembea, kuna wengine wako sijui under Wamalwa, kuna wengine wako under so and then for them unity has never really been an issue. Them they're just like, unatufanyia nini, ukishatufanyia we'll decide, so ODM right now, as you're saying, second class, my friend, it's not even going to be second class.
It's completely,
if things go the way they are going, it will have no class.
That's what they're afraid of.
Unfortunately, that time is coming, and it's coming really fast. And the only way they can now sort themselves out is when, and this is again my opinion, musinichape mawe. Wanyenyekee, waende waambie Sifuna, my friend, hapo tulifanya ile kitu. Tulichoma, sasa wewe ndio tupange. Utuambie hata ukinieka.
I think anaweza wapanga proper.
Hata ukinipatia kazi ya receptionist.
Tuko kwa nyumbani.
That is the only way ODM will survive.
It is really, it is when you are away, just like in football.
Yes,
you can't feel at home. It is good that you feel at home and been treated. That in actual sense and heart, that this party belongs to you, rather than being taken to another party. And in heart, that this party does not belong to you and you don't deserve this place.
It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are taking a short break right now. Then in the next hour, we are having a conversation around, again, still the weekly news roundup. But this time around, we are hosting two ladies. That is Wanjiku Thiga. She's the national youth leader at DCP party. And the other guest is Honorable Charlene Wamboi. She is the member of County Assembly in Murang'a County. Don't go too far. We will be right back.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good evening, I am Patricia Wayua. President William Ruto is in Italy for an official visit aimed at strengthening diplomatic and economic relations between the two nations, with a focus on expanding cooperation in trade, investment, agriculture, energy, and infrastructure development. During the visit, President Ruto met with Italian President Sergio Mattarella and later took part in a wreath-laying ceremony at a monument honoring fallen soldiers in Rome. He is also expected to hold high-level talks with Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni to further deepen bilateral cooperation. Kenya is set to hold the National Youth Council elections, marking the first time in 14 years that young people will elect their representatives through a structured national process. Youth Affairs Principal Secretary Fikirini Jacobs announced the move, confirming the establishment of a national steering committee and the release of election timelines. The process will begin at the ward level, where youths will elect delegates before progressing to constituency and ultimately national level through the National Youth Congress.
The process begins at the ward level, where registered youth voters elect 6 delegates from among the candidates within their ward. To ensure gender balance, the elected delegates comprise the top 3 male and top 3 female candidates based on votes received. This will result in approximately 8,700 ward delegates nationwide, representing all wards across the country.
Residents of South Sea today took to the streets in a peaceful protest over safety concerns following the earlier collapse of a residential building along Mohoho Avenue. The demonstration, which concluded at Uhuru Park, saw participation from locals and activists calling for accountability and stricter enforcement of building regulations. During the protest, residents raised alarm over another structure they say is at risk of collapsing, urging authorities to intervene urgently to prevent a potential disaster. They also called for thorough investigations into the previous incident and stronger oversight measures to prevent similar occurrences in the future.
Niko hapa na wenzangu kutoka South Sea. Tuko na malalamishi kwa sababu tumeona South Sea iendelee vizuri kwa mambo ya ujenzi na manyumba. Kama mnakumbuka, kuna gorofa ilianguka tarehe 2 Januari mwaka huu pale South Sea, karibu na South Sea Shopping Mall. Next to it ni building nyingine ambaye sisi kwa maoni yetu tunaona inaenda kuanguka. Iko na visible cracks na ni building ambayo watu hawafai kuishi. It's not safe for accommodation.
Tunataka minister afuatilie hiyo maneno, hiyo kitu iende kotini, tupate justice. Sababu tumechoka na hiyo nyumba next bado iko na shida. Na bado huyu mwenyewe bado anaanza kuchukua rent, ameanza kuchukua deposit. Sisi tutakubali watu wetu kukufa kila wakati?
We are also compelling the DCI to provide and furnish the office of the DPP with the requisite files so that a case is opened.
Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has warned security agencies against using excessive force during planned protests set for tomorrow, 21st of April 2026. Speaking in an interview, Gachagua said young people should be allowed to demonstrate peacefully over the rising cost of fuel and the high cost of living without fear of violence or intimidation. He also expressed support for the youth-led demonstrations, saying they have a constitutional right to protest. At the same time, Nairobi Regional Police Commander Issa Mohamud has urged that all demonstrations must follow the law, including giving prior notice to police for planning and security arrangements, warning that last-minute protests will not be allowed due to logistical concerns. Videos have emerged showing groups believed to be Haitian civilians protesting as Kenyan forces begin their final withdrawal from Haiti under the multinational security support mission. Reports indicate that residents blocked roads to oppose the departure, expressing fears that the end of the mission could leave them exposed to rising gang violence. According to a report from the Kenyan Mission Office in Haiti, officers were forced to use helicopters after roads were barricaded by civilians attempting to stop their exit. The mission is now transitioning into a new framework following approval by the United Nations Security Council of a gang suppression force in October 2025. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. I am Patricia Wayua.
This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership. Economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks. These are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters: the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. And this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
A very good morning to a very good evening. Hey. Anifa, utashinda ukinikumbusha until next week, eh? But a very good evening to you. Welcome back to Radio Generation. The time right now is 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. My name is Mungala Mbuvi. I'm with Hanifa Adan in the studio. But also we are joined by two guests. And the conversation is going to be around youth and politics and more or less the direction that the country is taking. So allow me to introduce our first guest. That is Honorable Charlene Wamboi. She is an MCA in Murang'a County. Good evening.
Good evening, Buvi. How are you?
Mimi niko salama sana.
Ciao. Ciao means you just say ciao. It's Italian. The president is currently in Italy, and that's a greting right now. So I'm just throwing a challenge to you.
So ciao is ciao.
Ciao.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know a song like Bella Ciao.
Absolutely.
You know the song?
Bella ciao, Bella ciao,
Money
ciao,
heist.
ciao. Absolutely.
Hiyo ward yako inaitwaje?
Kangari ward.
Kangari ward.
Yes, in Kegumo constituency, Murang'a County.
Watu wa Murang'a mnakuanga watu wa nguvu sana.
Kabisa. Since time memorial.
Mnakuanga watu wa nguvu sana.
Na huko ndiko viongozi wengi wazuri sana wanatoka. Ndio.
Na nasikia kuna mambo mazuri yanafanyika huko in terms of what the governor is doing.
Yeah, devolution is really working in Murang'a County. And as an MC in Murang'a County, I'm actually very proud of my governor and the whole county assembly of Murang'a.
Right.
And I'm the chairperson of the youth and sports committee in the assembly. And as a department, we've really done a lot for the youth of Murang'a County.
Good.
And so as I sit here this evening, I can point out a few things here and there that make me proud to be a member of the county assembly of Murang'a and to be serving and representing the youth of Murang'a. Thank you.
Hiyo nitakuuliza tu shortly. Also we do have Wanjiku Thiga. She is a national youth leader with DCP and also an aspirant. The last time I checked, you're running, right?
I'm here to announce myself movie. Yes.
So nimesema mapema sana.
Yeye ingine ni ground anaitisha. Labda umesikia ground.
Anaitisha. Wacha nifanye intro tena.
Yeah.
We are joined by Wanjiku Thiga, national youth leader DCP. A very good evening to you.
Hi, how are you?
Uko salama? Mimi niko salama.
Niko poa. I've had quite a day.
Yes.
We've had a very busy big event at DCP. We were launching one of our gubernatorial aspirants for Kiambu. So it was quite the event for the party.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also know you guys are doing something kuna ile kiti mnafuata yuko all Kalau pia.
Yes, and we also have Muradikiri. We also have a candidate. So the government is yet to announce officially the All Kalau seat being vacant.
Yes.
So at the moment where campaigns are ongoing is Muradikiri. But you're also looking forward to All Kalau.
Yeah.
It's a battle of the titans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And this is another test for DCP.
It is.
One of the greatest, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're saying one of the greatest.
Wanjiku is my friend and we've been doing interviews together. And I want to tell her it's not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the greatest because as a coalition in the opposition, the alternative government, they have parties like Wiper, they have DCP, and they have Jubilee. Right now, we've seen the top leadership of all the two parties, the DCP and Jubilee, arguing because Jubilee says this was our seat, so we have to retain it. Just the way you respected our principal JB Moturi in Mbere and said the seat was DP, and so the person that we are going to front is from DP. So even here in All Karao, you'll have to agree that we have to front somebody from Jubilee. But you see now, the party leader of DCP is, I would say, quote unquote, more higher than these other party principles, and he has to stamp his authority in Central Kenya. So that is why the reason I'm saying he is going to be one of the biggest, toughest battle of DCP. I'm looking forward to seeing how they do it.
Actually, the competition is going to be quite high.
Absolutely.
With what Shalina said, Mashima Shalina said, it's true. We stepped down for the candidate in DP in Mbere North.
Yeah.
We also did the same in Malava. And I think as DCP, we, after assessment, we realized that we can also, after stepping down for candidates from other parties, and did not deliver as we wished to. It's now an opportunity for DCP to take lead and also show its muscle.
Yeah.
So as DCP, we also saw even in all Kala, we did not see the deputy party leader for Jubilee. We didn't see Jubilee at the forefront during the funeral and burial and ceremony ongoing.
Right.
So for us, it was a signal that Jubilee is not truly
interested in the position anymore.
That's why now DCP took charge and it's looking forward to having
do you think
a candidate.
Do you think it's going to be a big test, like Mweshimo is saying?
It's going to be, I think, it's going to be a test of the united opposition. If as much as DCP had supported them in the former by-elections, will they also now allow to support DCP? Because if you see, we really gave so much support to other to our sister parties. Will they also now reciprocate when it's DCP's time? So it's a test of it is a test right now of the united opposition to give now support to DCP.
I actually hadn't thought of it that way.
That is a real thing. And you know, just to echo what I said and echo what Wanjiko have also said, all Karao is a make or break for the united opposition.
How so?
Because first and foremost, we can see the struggle with the principle from Jubilee and the one in DCP. Because Jubilee, I still remain my former statements. Jubilee still think the seat is theirs. And they feel they should be given a leeway by the DCP party leader, just the way he gave a leeway to JB Moturi in Mbere. That is one thing that we should understand. And additionally, if they do not come to an agreement that Jubilee should have a candidate and the united opposition should support Jubilee, there might be inside cracks. We might not see them from the outside, but I can promise you, I have been in this. She's laughing because she knows I have done party politics. Man, it's crazy and it's dirty. You might not see the results from out here, but uko ndani, it is crazy. Yes, because they will feel betrayed. They will feel like they are being taken for granted and they are not being seen as an equal ally in the coalition and partner. And so they might actually shift to another party to go and campaign for that candidate to oppose the united opposition party leader.
However, I will say Jubilee hasn't been as cooperative as we've seen other sister parties in the united opposition government. We've seen officials, well, let me not say officials, members, going outright fighting our party leader, fighting any activity that we are doing, which has, it's expected, you know, such kukwaruzana kwa chama. This is politics, and politics is about competition. And we've seen that, and we know that they're going to also put much more hostility between Jubilee and DCP, but I think it's a like Shalini said, a make it or break it moment for DCP. And we are looking forward to take charge.
So in this,
regardless.
allow me to ask you at this juncture then, your opinion on zoning. Do you think that this is perhaps the way to go?
Zoning costed me my seat in 2022. I know Honorable Shalini knows I vied in 2022.
I know you vied,
yes. And it costed me, and not only me, it costed so many young people who ran for office. I don't believe in zoning myself. And but from a political party's angle, it favors political parties, but for us as young people today, allow me to speak as a youth leader. It really disenfranchises young people, because again, when zoning happens, that it's the mightiest then gets to have the opportunity. And right now, young people are mighty in terms of, you know, they're able to move communication, move the ground, but in terms of finances, we're not able to move.
Hanifa ananoda nakubaliana.
She's trying to sink in all this wisdom.
We don't, and that's why you can see even ODM is right now is really
having trouble
zoning, because it does disenfranchise a lot of people. So for me, speaking from a place of young people, we lost so much in 22 because of zoning.
Hanifa, what do you think about, because this whole, whatever we're discussing here is basically parties, and let's not forget that these are youth leaders. Remember that time in 2024, youth wakikimbia huku Nairobi wakisema partyless, leaderless, na hizo less zingine zilikuwa zasemwa
tribeless.
I don't know what you think about thank you, tribeless. I don't know what you think about what they're saying in light of that conversation that
I actually have a question for them in light of that question and statement.
Yes.
So they are both young women in leadership. With their respective parties,
Yes.
DCP and UDA. I just want to ask, we're going to get to where the partyless topic heads.
Yeah.
What actually drew you to your respective party? UDA
Amazing.
and DCP. I want to understand, ni nini likufanya you say, I belong here.
Okay, so thank you, Hanifa, for that question. I actually admire you a lot. I love your aggressiveness. I love your demeanor and your push for stuff. And as a young woman, just feel appreciated. I see you. I'm clapping you on. We might not always agree on everything that you do, but I respect your stand. I respect the fact that you put yourself out there. You do not wait for anybody to shake you and tell you to go out there. You actually do it by yourself. I want to say first and foremost, I do not support the issue of zoning. Zoning is just the same as negotiated democracy.
It is.
I will never support negotiated democracy. We've seen it cost a lot of young people chances and opportunities to lead this country. So as a young person and speaking from a young person's perspective, I do not support the issues or the issue of zoning. I am coming from a party, the UDA party. Allow me to brag a bit. I know, of course, I'm going to rub a few shoulders here and there, but UDA party is one of the most organized parties in the country. Ask me why.
Why?
Thank you, Mbuvi. UDA is the only party in the country that have successively done grassroots elections since the start of multi-partyism in 1992. Secondly, UDA party is the only party that have successfully done online voting for nominations of candidate where seats fall vacant. In the case, for example, in the case of the late Honorable Johanna Ngeno, in the case of Mbere North, where we did the UDA nominations for us to get the Honorable Wamuthende, in Malava, where we got, what is his name? Our MP there. Ndakwa. So we successfully did our party nominations through technology, meaning the solutions we are looking for in a country can also even be found in technology, where all the young people are. And I really thank God that we are coming here to discuss issues of young people. Let me talk about why I joined UDA party. You know, on 24th of June 2024, I really was supporting the picketing of the young people in Nairobi. Before the anti-finance bill. Because what they are looking for are basic things that are enshrined in our constitution. Accountability of our money. They are looking for such things like me as a young person, even if I do not benefit today, I might benefit in the future, or my children might benefit in the future. But now, in the conversation of the Gen Z 2024 protest, they said they are leaderless, they are partyless, they are tribeless, and all those kinds of lessons you're talking about. And for a moment, I sat down and I understand that every leader has to be a reader. Kila kiongozi lazima awe mtu anapenda kusoma sana. And I have noted, I know maybe most of you don't follow me, but since 2024 to this year, I have not appeared on any media station. Intentionally, because I want to understand the young people, what they are pushing for, what they are asking for, and the solutions we can get as a people.
Did you understand?
I have, at least, not 100%. This is my own opinion, not 100% that I'm rubbing it on the shoulder of young people. But I want them to understand from where I'm coming from and where they're coming from, so that we can see what our breaking point can be. I have come to understand that there can never be government without systems. There have never been any nation in this world without a system. That is why we have the Republican Party and we have the Democratic Party in the United States of America. And that is it's a first world country. We have parties like the Labour Party in the UK against the other party. I cannot remember, forgive me, but I know each and every government is formed through parties.
The Conservative Party?
The Conservative Party. Thank you, Mbuvi. Thank you for reminding me. I always read, but sometimes, of course, they escape my mind. And so coming back to Kenya, there is the importance of young people joining political parties because it is the fastest vehicle to achieving what you want. It is the fastest way of you becoming a member of parliament or a senator. Young people, as my sister Wanjiko Thega have said, we have energy Unfortunately, we have no money and we have no influence. By influence, I do not talk about social media, quote unquote. Uko ground, influence your ground. I know she can support my point on that. These old folks, I know of old folks is a good name, it's not a bad name. They have the money, they have influence, but they have no energy. So the young people should be looking at ways of synergizing and knowing how to use their energy to pick up positions from party politics. I told you party politics is even dirtier than the politics you see here. That's the reason you can see many people in ODM crying today. They said the government's going to eat their own. No.
What did you understand by them saying they are partyless?
I understood they did not want to be identified by any party at that moment, either ODM or UDA. They were a neutral people looking for a solution for this country. They were a neutral people looking for ways they are going to save this country. That is what I understood when they said they are partyless, because they had already they felt that UDA had failed them, Baba with ODM had failed them, Kalonzo with his wiper had failed them, Fred Matiang'i with his party had failed. They felt like every other leader in this country had totally failed them. And so the young people of this country woke up to go and find a solution for themselves. They were not pushed by anybody. Nobody pushed any person that went on 24th of June 2024. They were going to push their own agenda. Unfortunately, after that peaceful picketing, we had infiltration of the subsequent rallies that the Gen Zs did. Unfortunately, so because now cartels found an open ground to push their own agenda.
The goons.
And unfortunately,
cartels.
The political cartels, the ones who wanted a coup d'etat in this country. There are so many factors at play. You know, politics is very deep, Hanif, and I thank God. I hope today we are going to say things as they are. Politics is so deep. Politics is not what you see on the surface here. Before you see the things happening on the surface, the kind of work that have been done here, it's crazy. One man said that if I'm given 10 minutes to chop down a tree, I use the 9 minutes to sharpen my axe and 1 minute to cut down the tree. So by the time it was culminating to the Gen Z, whatever, very many people had done their mathematics. And I rest my case and give back the microphone to you, Mbuvi.
Has she answered why she joined UDA?
No, you have not.
The reason I joined UDA is because first, I have given the successes of UDA. I've said it is one of the most democratic party. You can do elections through electronically without voter manipulation. Secondly, it has one of the best systems from the party leader to the grassroots, the person that is doing the grassroots. Right now, if I want the person, I vote in a polling station called Ikombe Primary School, and we did elections there. So if I want the leaders of UDA in Ikombe Primary School, Ikombe locality, I will get them just via phone call or the UDA database, something that other parties do not have in this country. So structure is very important to me. Systems are very important to me. And additionally, we want a party that supports young people. If you say you are vying and you maybe don't have finances.
Majority of people, I believe, who don't want to align with the major political parties, you know, mostly citing maybe they're looking for moral liberation and everything they have stood for since 2024. So what would you make of that?
Well, everybody have an opportunity to make their own decisions. And of course, I would never tell anybody, if a party does not align with your morals and values, I do not advocate that you join that party. You should look for an alternative party that safeguards your morals and your own values. But for me, I don't think UDA have quashed any of the morals that I look for. Credibility, I look for reliability, I look for efficiency, I look for systems and structures, and UDA for me has been able to do that for me. I do not know about the other people, but for me, for young people, go where you feel like your values and your beliefs are well safeguarded. Thank you.
Wanjiko, over to you.
Interesting, because for me, I also had to go through systematic interviewing process to become a leader at DCP. So this was very intentional. It was a very intentional move for me. Number one is to understand that I'm a sociology student. I did my undergrad in sociology. And it's to understand that society is made up of systems. Society is made up of systems. And it is to understand that a political party is a system too. So if you want to run the society, you use a system to run it. And I had to understand this because also in 2022, I ran as an independent candidate, and I realized the kind of work. It is such an uphill task to run against a political party because you're running against a system. So for me was to get into a system that aligns, what Charlene said, aligns with my ideologies. And for me in 2024, again, it was young people's political consciousness rising and realizing, I've spent quite the time going around the country because I've been working in programs that implements youth-centric issues. And for me, one of it was, political alignment of young people. For 2024, in any training I'll come in, I'll ask, how many of us have the Facebook app? All hands are up. Yeah. TikTok app, all hands are up. Pinterest, not all, Then I ask, how many of us have the Constitution app? No hands are up. And I ask them, and we are the leaders in our community. So for them, I started challenging young people. Let's download the Constitution. Even when we have in book clubs, let's also read the Constitution to understand our Constitution. So for 2024, it was the political consciousness rising for young people, and it was amazing. For me also, it was because I ran independent, because by then after I went through an unfair nomination process. No other party made sense for me, and I was partyless. But now, after 2024, then came DCP. Yeah. And this party aligned with what I believe, and I looked at it, and it was youth-led. So when the processes were out, applications were out, you can apply. I applied, and I went, and it was a system of interviewing. People think I was just appointed there. But I applied, I went through, I was asked questions like, how would you envision to run a youth league? What are things to look at? That's why I'm very intentional when I'm programming for the youth league. Because this is something I sat, did my work for I think a week, went and presented my case. And there were also other young people who did the same actually. So for me, I was looking for a system that can help me run another system, and that is our community and our society. And DCP was it for me. And our ideologies are equity, inclusion, and justice. For me, I am a big believer in a just system. Right. Definitely. And we just look after post-COVID. Our communities look different, and we wanted to have, a just community for me. Yeah. And DCP was it. Equity. I am such a strong supporter of women in leadership. If you actually look my youth league structures, I am really holding hands of young women in politics. Because why, Mbuvi? How many seats do you have? How many MCS do you have in Kenya?
1,400?
1,450. How many young women were voted in?
Very few.
12.
12.
Wow. Just 12.
Including her.
She's nominated.
Oh, nominated. Okay.
But they can't be 12, my dear, because, for example, in Murang'a we have 6. So do you want to tell me for the rest 46
actually
counties,
under 35 thing is
okay, good. Now
under 35
that is more, that's better. That's a better. I would have been shocked.
Yes.
I would have been shocked because in Murang'a we have 6 women that are elected.
Yes. So I'm speaking about, because I'm leading the youth league, so I'm speaking about the young women.
Very well.
That I'm supporting.
So under the age of 35, elected female MCAs
are just 12 out of 1,450. So I have a very targeted approach for 2027. I want to see more young women elected. And how do we get there? Is by holding their hand, giving them platforms that I have been given by Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. Actually, people were shocked when I was announced as the youth leader. They expected, a man. They expected even actually above 35. And anytime somebody would come to the party, they're like, I want to see the youth leader. Mtu ameshanipita.
The arrogance and
they don't expect you to be a young woman who's been given one of the strongest positions in the country, one of the strongest opposition parties. So for me, it was to go to a platform that believed in young women in leadership and giving me a space and platform that I can program as I see fit.
I have a question for you. I actually admire you and everything you have been through and everything that You know,
We've been together in the struggle, funny for me
yes,
too. I believe.
I actually have a genuine question to ask you, since you are in DCP and regarding the former deputy president is someone you look up to, and I have a question regarding that. Was he someone that you looked up to when he was still in government?
Thank you for that question. When we were in government, I used to work under the Office of Media, and not directly to him. I was differently because I'm a media commentator. So I used to observe what he's doing. I used to work around what is happening, how is government delivering for its people. And I would look at what is Rigathi Gachagua delivering for the people of Kenya. And for him, he had it's a point of contact for me because he looked at drug abuse. And unfortunately, my father was struggling with alcoholism. So for me, it was personal for the work he was doing. So I was somebody who was keenly looking at what he's doing, and I would report to what he was doing. So he was somebody I was looking up to before. And when this party came and it seemed like something that is aligning to what I believe in, then I thought, let me give it a chance. And well, here we are now.
Okay, even despite his sentiments on the protest that you were part of. When he was in government, he was against the protests that you were part of.
Yes, he always talks about how when we go to government, when we go to protest, police should use force within the constitution. At least for me, that was okay. But
I think he said that ukienda protest unataka
you do not don't expect the police to kiss you.
There's something called political communication, and that's political language that has always been used. And I do a lot of work trying to just use non-political language, what people are communicating within politics, and it is force that is necessary force that is used, that is allowed in the constitution, because picketing is under Article 37. People are allowed to picket, and you see, when you picket, you're supposed to give a notice. That notice is not for favor or anything. It's to ensure that the police officers are also able to come and defend and protect people who are picketing at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe to answer the question that you asked her, or of whether she believed in her party leader even when he was in government. So for me, I wanted to answer it in my own way. RG is somebody that I listen to him and know his political rallies. If you want to have differing opinions, you have to listen to your own principle and the other person's principle, and just gauge on different levels of things. But for me, I would say that by the time Rigathi Gachagua was being made the deputy president, for me, unfortunately, I wasn't supporting him. I was for Kithure Kindiki. And I remember that fateful day when the president had to make the decision of who was going to be the deputy president of our coalition, the Kenya Kwanza coalition. And at that time, it was only Rigathi Gachagua and Kithure Kindiki. And because of democracy, the president had to ask the members of parliament to vote for the person they feel that would be a good leader to be the deputy president. And I remember 24 people voted for Kithure Kindiki. And only 5 people voted for, not 5 people, but 3 people voted for Rigathi Gachagua. And I remember after that, it was a moment of huge tension within the Kenya Kwanza brigade, because it was a make or break for us. Because if you look at the votes, the late His Excellency Raila Odinga left us with 200,000 votes. It's almost like only 5 votes in every polling station in this country, and he would have been president. It was a very small number of people, and so we had to balance between popularity and integrity at some point. Because one is popular, the other one is integral. Tuko pamoja, si tulisema tunaambiana ukweli. And I remember that day Rigathi Gachagua went and did Maandamano in Nyeri town, Karatina. Do you remember? Are you aware he did Maandamano?
I'm not aware.
You are not aware, but Tris Wanjiku, the guy is
I'm
aware.
also not aware.
When he did Maandamano, for him to be given the deputy president's position. Yes, he did the Maandamano. It's there on before the election. It is there on record. It is there on videos. It is there on everything.
Okay.
And so he had to use force to make sure that he got that position. I do not have a problem with that because also his
Alikuwa anajitetea
na ndio hiyo. Lazima kila mtu ajitetee na ile kitu uko nayo.
So did the results shock you?
He was coming. Actually, the results did shock me because at that particular moment, I expected that our party leader would look at the numbers against anything else. Because most people wanted Kithure Kindiki to go with as DP against Rigathi Gachagua. But you know what? His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto was like, Rigathi Gachagua have supported me. He has been one of the people that has, you remember alikuwa amefungiwa hata finances, our president William Ruto.
He went through a lot.
He went through a lot
just
of
defending
problems.
William Ruto.
Through a lot of depression. Police wamekuwa withdrawn. He has no security. But at that particular moment, one man that stood with him was Rigathi Gachagua.
He was actually even stripped naked.
Yeah, and at that and at that particular moment,
that time with police came and took
they
him.
went to his house.
Yeah.
Who stripped who?
Police had stripped Rigathi Gachagua naked.
Yes.
Yeah,
at that
went
time,
through humiliating moments.
That is okay.
For William Ruto.
It's okay to appreciate certain facts. I do not have a problem with that, and I actually appreciate it. That's why I'm coming from. We have to have, for us, we look to the future, we have to look at the
past,
the past, so that we can have at least a solution. And so, at this particular moment, William Ruto had to weigh between the two gentlemen. And as William Ruto, as we know him, put emotions aside and everything else aside. He had to repay good with good. And against all odds, against the opinions of 24 members of parliament, he went and chose Rigathi Gachagua because he felt he had to honor the man. Okay. He had to honor the man that covered his nakedness. He had to honor the man that stood with him even during hard times. And he had to honor the man that had undergone so many problems for his sake. Not for any other reason. Those were some of the most defining moments to why Rigathi Gachagua had to be given the deputy positions. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo.
Tuko pamoja.
Yes, I want to defy the fact that I know we have not gotten into this debate, and I'm sorry that I'm jumping before you ask this question.
Okay. Yeah.
William Ruto was not taken to Mount Kenya by anybody. When he was the deputy president for 10 years, Uhuru Kenyatta tried impeaching William Ruto in his second term. But he was unable to do so because William Ruto had numbers, and Aden Duale was the leader of majority during that process of Uhuru thinking he would impeach William Ruto. So the issue of impeachment has not started with Rigathi Gachagua. It started way back with William Ruto wanting to be impeached by Uhuru Kenyatta. But the good thing about why William Ruto would not have been impeached is, number one, he had numbers. Number two, he had a good working relationship with members of parliament and senators. And that is the reason you saw most of the time, if William Ruto is going to Murang'a, even senators from wherever, all of them are with him because they believed in that man. He had good working relationship with the maybe not with the president back then, but with the people that really made the decision, the MPs and the senators. That's why any impeachment motion, even if it came to parliament, would not even get four votes to get him impeached. So those are some of the things I say. It does not augur me. I do not support Rigathi Gachagua, but I respect the fact that he's aggressive. I respect the fact that he do not wait to be pushed. He goes out there and pushes himself, and
he's proactive.
Is proactive.
All
but
right.
maybe I might not be able to augur well with him and his ideas and his ideology.
Ruto did not honor him when he impeached him.
No,
he everything, he sacrificed it.
Ruto had given him 1,000 chances. Ask me how and why.
How and why?
Thank you, Hanifa. You have heard him saying that he used to bang tables in State House. So would you honor somebody that bangs your table?
Just bang.
Additionally, Rigathi Gachagua, when he did not get whatever he wanted, Rigathi Gachagua was not in good terms with members of parliament back then.
Something I've heard.
Yeah, something you have heard and seen. Because if he was in good books,
not seen.
Yeah, I will tell you how you have seen. Because if he was in good books with members of parliament and senators, he would not have been impeached. Nobody would have signed the impeachment motion. But if he was in good books, but because he was not in good books with members of parliament, that is why even members of ODM who did not even know, who did not even vote for the government, all of them signed, because I've also heard without seeing that when you used to go to him and ask him for something or support on something, he would first of all brush you off. Those are things I've heard, but I don't know, because I'm not a member of parliament and I'm not a senator. I'm just using examples. Mount Kenya MPs, before the impeachment, they went to Nyahururu, Nyandarua, Nyahururu, to do a press conference, and these are some of the issues that emerged, that he's not relatable. You cannot sit down with him and agree on something. You know, some of those. So William Ruto did not dishonor his friend. Let me take you deeper, and this is going to be my closing
Maybe
remark.
I can want to
Just a moment. Just a moment. It's actually going to be my last point before you interject. How do you honor somebody who does a press conference 1 hour later after you, the president, have done a press conference? No, I want you to tell me no genitive.
I think actually I liked how you've ended your statement. You see, the press conference you're speaking about was the press conference about now Maandamano protest. And Rigathi Gachagua was totally against what the president did. President came and called young people criminals. And it was young people actually just after being unheard. And young people had communicated, mnakumbuka ile time ya kusalimia watu. Young people consistently communicated through social media, through phone calls, through messages. We don't want this finance bill. And they said, we don't want finance bill. And young people realized, you know what? The only way this government listens to young people is through street picketing. Or the possibility of picketing. This is the only way this government listens to young people. And when young people went on the ground, they were shot dead. Young people just had a flag, margin, a firimbi, na simu. They were shot dead. And Rigathi Gachagua is a father, just like Ruto. But in that moment, Ruto did not take his parental heart at that moment that their parents were losing kids because of his own command. And Rigathi Gachagua called, because among the reasons why I believe in his leadership, he called for a press conference, like Shalina said, Mheshimiwa Shalina said. And he said, President, you need to stop doing this to our kids.
Yeah.
And what UDA or Kenya Kwanza government, they saw it as disobedience. But this is after Rigathi Gachagua was consistently communicated. People have said they don't want this housing. Please, you need to listen to people. History by the kusikiza ground haikutoka mbali. It was about getting feedback from people, because we vote. Sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya. We give power to, individuals elected to go and represent us. So when people communicate, we don't want housing. This is not a necessity for Kenyans right now. As at now, we'll want other things being looked at. Housing is a no. He communicated this to the president, but the reason why even unemployment cases are so high in Kenya today and manufacturing is slowly dying, it's because this housing project, we only have 3 contractors who are supplying. Ikitu ni biashara.
Yeah, too few.
Yeah, but too few. And this is why President continued and insisted on this housing, even if Kenyans have said no to it. So this is after His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua always giving feedback to the president and him ignoring his junior. And you know how tense it can be working under someone who you always give feedback and they always ignore it. And for a while, it had been tense. And Honorable Shalina has given us the genesis of, Rigathi Gachagua wasn't voted in to be the ideal deputy president, but Ruto decided, this guy is the one I'm going to move forward with. Which it was his own decision. And sometimes in politics, we award people who have been loyal to you. And maybe at that moment, Ruto felt, this is the person I can walk through this journey. But going into politics, campaigning is so tough. It is so expensive. And imagine doing campaigns for almost 2 years and then somebody dropping you. It is painful, and it is an impeachment. And after public participation has been done, and people have said, do not impeach, then it goes to show this is truly an attribute of President William Ruto. He doesn't listen. He doesn't. He goes further and does what he wants and what he thinks is necessary for him. But this you can't govern it as as your, this is a democratic nation. When people have public participation and say do not impeach, then go ahead and impeach, is unfortunate. And Honorable Shalin says, you see, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua didn't have friends. Why did he go and support Honorable Betty and Honorable Amombi? That was not even he's not, he doesn't belong to them, but he took his own
you mean supported them in their marriage?
Yes.
When they were doing their wedding?
Doing their wedding. He went and did that for them. Let me say this one thing, and one thing that we've learned, and for me, let me speak about my leadership in DCP.
Yeah.
And what I am preparing for 2027. I'm preparing for merited young leaders in 2027. Unfortunately, in 2022, we had a lot of hogwash and a lot of mesmerizing politics. People didn't look at people's merits. It was who's trending, who's popular, let's move with them. And we did not sift leaders. If people sifted leaders carefully, I would be in an elected MCA today because of who I am and the kind of leadership I represent. But we didn't. And we have leaders today. We don't even have leaders in parliament. We have dealers. People who wake up every day and think, where am I going to get the money? How am I going to deal? We just have dealers in parliament. And what presented themselves was a good deal, money that exchanged hands, and they impeached. And we've seen even governors themselves come to parliament or even offer press and saying, we actually, senators are, wanatunyang'anya pesa. Hapa tunashinda tukitishwa pesa. It is the truth and the reality of politics and what we have in parliament today. It is dealers. They got a good deal to impeach Rigathi Gachagua, and it for me, it just gave me every day it gave me a whole different look about President William Ruto.
On that issue of senators and governors exchanging money, I feel like it's a willing buyer, willing seller kind of situation. Fine, senators are asking for money, apparently. Yes. Senator Onyonka was here and said it actually happened.
Yes.
But the governors
is
also
he always part of that committee? There is always a committee
the different committees, yeah?
Exactly.
Yes.
But you see, Mheshimiwa, what I'm trying to say is no one comes and puts a gun on a governor's head and tells them, let her 20 million.
No.
Hiyo pesa inakuanga na inapeanangwa.
Yes.
If we're going to be honest about
Yes.
it. Willing buyer, willing seller. That's why whenever I see them, when I saw the Council of Governors complaining at sijui we're being extorted, I just said, this is just a deal gone sour. Mtu ameamua kusema. Otherwise, it's been going on for years.
It has. And because everybody is looking at their interest. A governor doesn't want to be impeached. A governor doesn't want his books checked closely. Because even when we look at corruption, the larger plundering is at the county levels. And that's why it's so important for me. I'm checking the MCAs that I'm really bringing on board and polishing, because we have to check our counties. We are always looking at national level what's happening, and we forget what is happening at our counties.
I actually love that point. Forgive me, I'll have to interject and you have to forgive me. I love that point. I love that point because
I have a question first before
Kenyans are asking good questions, but to the wrong person. Most of our monies in this country are actually the county government. I serve actually.
Mheshimiwa, niko na swali.
Yes, please.
The conversation you're heading to. You said ulikuwa unasifu UDA sana, saying it aligns with your values and everything. Na hawa governor wengi who are found in scandals. I wouldn't say hakuna watu wa UDA hapo. So what happens next? How do you handle such corrupt cases with people within the UDA party?
That's okay. First and foremost, allow me to take you a little bit back on a point that my sister Wanjiko said about Rigathi Gachagua attending Betty's wedding, blah, 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 and stories like that. The president has so many times, even when he has come to Kikuyu radio stations, said that he did not push Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment. And the MPs themselves pushed. The first time, they were called to State House.
Even
the first time, the president refused and the MPs recent, but he went on. It's like uko na kidoda unaenda tu na paka unafinyilia chumvi, watu wanasikia wamechoka kabisa. Do you know what the MPs finally told the president? Do you want to hear? At least you get it from me today.
You tell me.
They told him, the impeachment motion will still go on. The only difference will be we remove Rigathi Gachagua's name, we will put your name. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo.
So they threatened the president.
The MPs had already made their decision that they did not want him because he had a bad working relationship with them. I am telling you that as a person who sits close to these people,
Mahesh,
and they have repeated it over and over all the time.
So that we can get this clear.
Yes.
You want to say that the MPs, after nagging the president over and over,
yes,
they
the
went and told
president
him,
refused.
They told him,
yes,
it's either we impeach Rigathi Gachagua or we impeach William Ruto.
Ndio, let me finish. Let me finish kindly, Wanjiko. Let me repeat it. Let me repeat it very well, Mbuvi. The president continuously and audaciously told the members of parliament, you have to calm down with this impeachment motion. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about it when you go to media, when you hold the microphone. Let it be all done. The members of parliament told His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, if that is your stand, the impeachment motion will not be slowed down. The impeachment motion will not stop. The only thing we are going to change in this impeachment motion, and Your Excellency, you are going to give us just 1 hour to change, is the name on the impeachment motion.
Then
we are going to remove the name of Rigathi Gachagua, and we are going to remove the name of.
If this was so driven
that
by
was
the MPs,
that was the MPs were already done.
Okay,
If they did not want that problem
driven
anymore.
by MPs, why was money being exchanging hands
on the issue of money? I am not aware of the issue of money. I wish I was a member of parliament to just understand how the National Assembly really works, but I'm just acting as a member of county assembly in Murang'a County. I have not heard on the issue of money, but I know that was what was
one at a time, one at a time. Otherwise hata msikiki huko nje, one at a time.
Ndio.
So
it was my point.
Mahesh amesema kitu. You are asking that you're asking her on the issue of the money.
Yes,
that
because
was circulated.
she's saying this was so MP driven, the impeachment process. But then again, why was money exchanging hands? Because if this was really coming from them, then they didn't need their hands rubbed with mafuta.
Maybe Wanjiko can tell us about the issue of money, because I'm unaware.
But it has been spoken of
many
times,
but I don't know.
time online. And waheshimiwa wenye walikataa kuimpeach, they even spoken this very clearly.
I am not aware about that.
Maybe you should then check news.
I should actually just.
But it was there, and so it's false to say it was an MP driven impeachment process. It wasn't.
Do you want to tell me even the members of parliament for ODM?
You see, a party leader, because I work in a party and party has systems, party leader whips. Ruto should have whipped. Just like Raila Odinga whipped his party, they never acted outside what he says. So it is so, and it is to tell us that, do you now President Ruto is unable to whip
do you want to do you want to tell me now that because we had more than 100 votes from the ODM party MPs on the impeachment motion, that Raila whipped those members to sign the impeachment motion?
Yes.
I wasn't in parliament, so I won't lie that I know what happened.
Yes, I will say yes because I know how political parties work. I know how ODM supports even Sakaja in Nairobi.
Yes.
How ODM Raila used to really support Sakaja and helped him for his own good, actually.
Saved him several times from
saved
impeachment.
him because as a party leader, you are given an express order by the party. So, Honorable Shalini, don't lie to us.
By the ODM, it becomes even sweeter. So what were the interests of ODM signing the impeachment motion? Anyway, maybe that one
because now they send in
we can come and talk about that. But
I agree with that,
on the point of
and now we have DCP and we are running the country and we are one time ready to get Ruto out of president.
I have a question.
Okay.
I haven't even answered her question. That is the question I was going to answer right now.
Okay.
Just a follow-up question. You said that the members of parliament walisema if Ruto does not accept the impeachment motion against the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua, his name was going to be replaced
an alternative.
So they can impeach President Ruto if they want.
I mean, it's constitutionally there. Is it not there?
It is.
It is possible for MPs to impeach a president. They have when they have reasons that have pushed them to that level of impeaching them, but of impeaching him. But as at now, the MPs have no reason that have pushed them to impeach the president? That is a question that maybe you should ask the MPs themselves. On the issue that Wanjiku Thega have said on credibility of young people, I love that topic actually because I'm also a very young person. I'm 30 years of age and acting as an MCA is no mean feat. It wasn't easy getting to that position, and anytime I get such platforms, it's always very important for me to tell people and young people that when coming into this political game, do not expect to be given anything on a silver platter. True. Just like the Bible says that the kingdom of God suffereth violence, and the violence shall take it by force. Now the kingdom of politics does not only suffer violence. It suffers violence, it suffers intimidation, it suffers a lot of things.
For
it is worse even for women and even young people.
Yeah.
Now the mistake that Wanjiku and I have is that we are women, quote unquote, it's not a mistake, but I'm just saying this on a light note, is that we are women and we are youth. So we are disadvantaged on both ends. And every young person that is coming into this political arena must appreciate the fact that you have to get your legs out of the sack, throw yourself to people, give them your agenda, and let them listen. And it is also very important to join political parties. And it is very important because even as we were starting this discussion, we gave you the importance of joining political parties. They make your way to parliament and even county assemblies easier.
Okay.
On electing credible young leaders, especially in Mount Kenya, that is where I come from, and that is where Wanjiku Thega is coming from. I was having a discussion with my governor just recently on Saturday, actually, when we launched my Muranga app, whereby anybody in Muranga can get services for free through an app instead of going to offices from the comfort of your home. And after that event, we sat down somewhere because our governor is very listening. He's very collaborative, and he likes listening to people's opinions so that he can better things here and there and stuff like that. And the issue of the kind of young people we are going to elect in 2027 came about.
Right.
It was a hot topic on that table. I can tell you we had a discussion from 7 p.m. We were leaving there at 11 p.m. On some things we agreed, on some other things we disagreed. But one of the greatest things that we agreed on that table, though not 100%, is that if we are not careful, 2027 we might even get worse people than we got in 2022. Because people are still using emotions instead of brains. People are not looking for accountability where you are they don't want to listen to your agenda. They just want to know, mheshimiwa unatuachia ngapi ili tujikate, na mheshimiwa utatuona lini kama watu wa boda boda. People do not want to listen to agenda. I know you want to go into kind of an agenda kind of conversation with the normal mwananchi.
Whose fault is that?
An electorate. It is both the electorate's fault and the leader's fault. But more importantly, it is coming from the electorate.
Unachanga watu boda boda kitu?
Hiyo ni swali mzuri sana. Maybe the politics of handout is very important.
People who want to take political powers,
yes,
na hawana pesa. What happens to that?
My God, it becomes even crazier. I don't know whether Wanjiku can say it better than me, but it is not easy. And you cannot separate politics from money. And you cannot separate money from politics. You know, Hanifa, we said in movie, you cannot separate politics from money, and you cannot separate money from politics. Both of them have to go concurrently.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not the only person saying that.
Money is being dished in places of worship like churches with political leaders I've seen, and headed by our president Ruto.
Yeah, first and foremost, ORPP said the report on ORPP said that 2027 is going to be the most expensive election
in terms of campaigns.
I agree with you. In the history of Kenya. So it is good that we are here, me and you, Buvi, and Wanjiku, and you, Hanifa, to just question the young people.
Question,
to just question young people because
I think I asked your question.
Yes, that is the question I'm coming to answer.
Now,
it is going to be a very expensive campaign.
Church and places of worship.
You cannot separate politics, money, and church. They have to grow together. Na ndio maana Moi akasema siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Tumeona watu wakipeana pesa kwa kanisa, na rais mwenyewe alisema amejenga vitu nyingi. Amejenga manyumba zake, amejenga mabiashara, lakini yeye hakuna kitu anajivunia zaidi kama kujenga kanisa. Even on Sunday he was at AGC Karen opening a church that he has helped in building for a very long time.
Mwesha wanted to take a short break.
And he's not the only person who gives money in churches. We saw Sifuna in Nakuru on Sunday giving some money, and he told the pastor, please do not accept money that come from politicians. Yet he's a politician. It's the double standards for me. Thank you.
Wacha tuchukue tu dakika chache tu wewe naona ni kama una maji, nikutafutie maji.
Asante yaki.
We talk about accountability.
That's all
right. So don't go too far. We'll be right back.
Radio generation, the sound is fine. Pump it up, turn it high all the time. Let the music move you, let's sway. Radio G's got your jam all day.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This week, power was tested in the corridors of leadership, economies shook under pressure, and the voices of ordinary citizens demanded to be heard. From breaking decisions in high office to protests in the streets, from moments of triumph to tragedies that stopped us in our tracks. These are the headlines that shaped our week. And beyond the noise, we search for what really matters, the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. Introducing Patricia Wayoa, and this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
All right, welcome back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is 2 minutes past 9 o'clock. We are having a conversation here, and it's about, first of all, young people in leadership. Specifically, in studio, we do have two women leaders. One of them is Wanjiku Thige. She's the National Youth Leader at DCP. And the other one is MCA in Muranga, Honorable Charlene Wamboi. You had asked them a question, Hanifa. I don't know if Mwesha amekujibu ama ungependa kurudia tena.
No, I had a question for her.
Specific one.
Specific. History. Hii maneno ya church.
Yes.
And public. I think you remember when President Ruto came out and banning pesa and harambes, nini. And then I'm asking, he's been doing that. He's been dishing millions in churches every now and then. What does that tell you?
You know, Hanifa,
is that not contradictory?
This is how I'm going to answer this question. And I had said it even before we went for the break. The president himself said that he has built very many things, but one thing he prides himself in is building churches, because that is something he appreciates. He appreciates the fact that the church has led him to where he is. And if you listen to his speech when he was taking his oath of office, he said, I was prayed into office. So this is a man that is coming from a background of Christianity, a man that believes in the values and virtues of Christianity. You cannot separate this man from the church, and you cannot separate this man from supporting the church. Maybe a question that I would ask Kenyans is, why is it that when President Ruto is supporting the church and we see other leaders supporting the church, why are they never asked? Is it bad thing? Another thing, you cannot, the money that the president gives is from his own pocket.
It's okay, but
he takes the money.
He was against Harambe.
Yes, he was against Harambe, and actually the Harambes were closed and they were banned.
Yes, he banned the Harambes, but went ahead and is still going ahead to dish money in churches.
You know, and Hanifa, money that you have made for yourself, I cannot tell you how to use that money. Can I?
Is it Harambe?
No, I'm asking you, can I? No, thank you for laughing. Hanifa, today let's say maybe you sell clothes. Thank you. Today we say you sell clothes in Eastleigh or Nairobi or Muranga or wherever. Gikomba. And you make a profit, and Gikomba. And you make a profit. So am I supposed to dictate to you
20 million profit?
No. Thank you. Thank you. I will show you how I will as we are sitting with you here, Hanifa, if you give me a moment after Wanjiku Thige has responded, I will easily give you an easy example of how the president makes a profit of 20 million.
Did he not ban the Harambes?
He did ban the Harambes. But give kupeana sadaka, that is not dishing money, and those are not Harambes. And you'll actually realize
ni sadaka.
Is it still not a public?
It's just like tithing. For example, I fellowship at JCC.
In secrecy.
We are called to tithe. And tithing atuwekangi kwa basha, tunapelekanga kanisa. So, thank you.
I think I will want to respond to this conversation, especially this moment. President Ruto did ban Harambes himself, then went ahead and continue doing what he banned. And this is a startling example of the fact that he doesn't follow rule of law. He doesn't. And how can you make a decree, then go and disobey it yourself? You go back on your word. And this is why, and this is the problem that we have today, it's because he keeps not fulfilling promises that he keeps, and he doesn't see a problem with that. And we see Honorable Charlene give excuses and make excuses for him. And this is a problem. And let me speak about the church thing and Africa. This is a problem of Africa. We build churches, but we don't build factories. And we have, he knows one of the major, he has intelligence. He has one of the major issues in Kenya is unemployment of young people. If we can use this money to build factories, to build manufacturing spaces, to ensure that the business, environment in Kenya today is working, that we can solve a lot of issues. And again, the president is a bright man. He has to keep young people disempowered, so that the money that he wants, he's dishing out. Charlene says is tithing, but we know from Christian, and I believe maybe Islam also you believe in, when you give to God, it's in secrecy. It's a pact between you and God. It's not something you go to announce. So what he's doing is continuing the Harambes, it's continuing dishing out money, it's continuing, it's refusing to solve the infrastructural and systemic issues that affect Kenya, so that we can keep young people disempowered, and then again, we can do a lot of cash drops. But cash drops just excite moments. Oh, I've given you 3 million, we clap. Then that's it. But that young person who has an issue, the new funding model is left like that. Healthcare system hasn't been solved. It's just a moment, a epiphany moment, and then that's it. Because if we truly, and I am a young person who's working for this country and looking forward to 2027, if we truly want to fix Kenya, then cash drops isn't the answer. The staged empowerment programs that we've had, they don't work. If we can, if President Ruto really wants to fix Kenya, he can, but he lacks the political goodwill for it. He believes in giving cash drops just to excite a moment for him to move to the next stage, and for him the next stage is post 2027. And that's why again we are saying, and that's why Honorable Charlene said 2027 is going to be the most expensive elections. I agree with her. I agree with the report that she draws from, because I also read the same report. It's going to be a very expensive campaign because so many people are in fixes. And you know what? I need that 200 bob to fix this. I need that 5K to do this. And every day, like I'm a leader, every day I'm added to a WhatsApp group. Somebody is sick. Somebody has cancer. Somebody is going to to India.
Don't they have SHA?
And it's all working. Unfortunately.
Tuliambiwa ukiwa na SHA, stories za Harambee zimeisha.
Before we continue,
sure.
I was talking about President Ruto and his contradictory actions with the Harambee, banning it, and then I want to talk. This is again another genuine question. I think it happened the same with the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua. His statements, he's been making different statements when he was in power and now
outside.
Do you not find that also contradictory? Is it not the same issue we're having with
maybe you can draw me an example?
Yeah, the same one we had. He told Squeezy, he comes Squeezy anakuja anaambia watu he supports anasupport young people, the protests and stuff, but he was against it when he was in government. Going back to the same statement yenye alisema, if you're coming to the streets, you don't expect the police to kiss you, which I find it very offensive as someone who was in the streets fighting for our rights and accountability. Yes, so I think I find it hypocritical when he said the same statement and now turning it around the other way. Is it because he's not in power, or he had a change of heart? And is it not the same issue we are referring to with the Harambee example? Yeah, is it a thing with the politicians?
I'm going to maybe just give another clarification about the protest issue, and to say it has always been the right of people to picket at the end of the day.
Yes.
But what Rigathi Gachagua has always said about is that when we go to the street, also police are allowed.
They're allowed to do what?
Use necessary force. Kuna
What
yenye
does
tunapita
necessary
pitisha
force
like
mean?
things that are not allowed. It's like using rubber bullets, live ammunitions, water cannons, live tear gas. Those things are not supposed to be. They are not allowed in protest. So, maybe force. Excessive, yeah, that's the word. Excessive force is not allowed in pickets and rallies.
But he said
Definitely, but don't expect, of course,
so
because that's not. It's not a love affair. Tumeenda ground, so hakuna kisses. So tunavutana.
Are peaceful protests something that we all desire?
Yes.
Yes.
Globally,
protesters were 2024. I believe were peaceful.
Yes. Very.
Were they not peaceful?
They were.
We were all
vijana wengi tulikuwa
straight. Were they not killed?
They were killed.
So what did he mean when he said that don't expect to be kissed when people are just carrying flags and water?
Okay, mimi maybe kama uniget poa nasema hapo alikuwa nasema don't expect, being cuddled or anything. Lazima kutakuwa na friction, but excessive force is what's not supposed to be used. And I've given examples of excessive forces that depict the
live ammunition.
Yes, the rubber bullets. Bana nimekuwa mahali watu wamepigwa rubber bullets, unaona ni uchungu, yani you have to take that person to hospital. The deaths, the water cannons. Saa hii kwanza tear gas Kikuyu tulipigwa red. It's becoming so hysterical, and it's just it's a rally, it's picketing, but what he meant is just don't expect that it will be all lovey-dovey, but there'll be friction, but excessive force, he was never for it.
I think he did say that.
It was actually now maybe that's why
it was a bit
in politics there's what is called contact language.
Yeah, but
because this is politics.
Don't expect to be kissed. I think inamaanisha expect the worst.
No. I love the way astute Hanifa is until she gets her answer and whatever it is she's looking from you. Because it is a matter of concern for you, and it's a beautiful thing that it's not for your personal interest, it's for the whole interest of the Gen Z.
Also for the sake of
I totally get it.
I understand that I know that the protests were meant from the very beginning. The initial reason anyway why young people went to the streets.
Yeah, accountability
was just to show that guys, there's something we need. And we need to get it.
And I want to tell them
consciousness of young people.
Yes, and I want to also not to belabor on any point.
Let him
say.
But for them to justify what they did, now the excessive force that Wanjiku is talking about, for people to be shot, for people to be tear gas, for people to be beaten,
abducted,
that whole issue of guns had to be introduced. Now, I do not want to apportion blame to anyone, but someone introduced guns so that they can justify the use of those
forces
and the force, and the infiltration. Because, for example, Hanifa, I don't think you went to the streets to steal anyone, to break into anyone's shop.
I was attacked by a gun.
You were attacked,
and I know that they were sent by the government.
We saw that
because there are videos circulating. Yes, them saying they were targeting me specifically. Yes.
So on that issue of guns, what you're saying, and I totally get it. Kutetea Rigathi Gachagua, by all means. I mean, at the end of the day, I would be very disappointed if you didn't. But to be honest, something happened during that Maandamano that shouldn't have happened.
That is
Kenyans went to the streets kujitetea, but someone decided that they were not going to achieve it, and that's what and whatever happened. So I think we can agree on that, all of us. All right. Over to you.
And to also tell the young people that they did not do any mistake by going to the streets on 24th of June. As we've said, nothing has ever been given. You have to fight for it. Spaces, opportunities, name it all. You really have to fight for the space that, just like the young people are doing on 24th of June. When I was in the university, I was a student leader in Mount Kenya University. And I also remember when we were fighting against the new voting model in the universities. You know, kitambo we had the universal suffrage whereby watu wanapiga mlolongo, wanakupea kura, wewe una shida na kura 5,000, 10,000, unakuwa vice president ama unakuwa president. But in 2018, Duale brought a motion in parliament. We call it the Duale bill. And it endeavors to see that we have delegates doing voting in universities. Let me justify the reason why young people in this country were angry.
Yes.
Because all their avenues of agitation and expressing themselves have been closed down. I am a member of the county assembly. I know it is not possible to reverse a bill once it's been passed in parliament and assented by the president or the governor for county levels. I know it is not possible. So it's not possible for us to reverse the delegate model of voting in our universities and take it back to the universal ways of
Can
voting.
it not be repealed?
I don't, unless we have
Anyway, I want you to
unless
get
we
your
have a
points.
referendum,
Okay.
and it be part of the concerns of young people that if this referendum have to pass, then this has to be one of the points that the young people have to be considered for. And so by the time the culmination of the Gen Z was coming, these young people, they're not being listened to at home, they're not being listened to at school, whereby they should be expressing themselves. You're not giving them the right to even vote for the leaders they want in the universities. You want to impose delegates on them to vote so that they can protect a certain system.
Yeah.
The problem we are having in this country, Mbuvi and Hanifa,
Yeah.
I told you we're having a honest conversation. It is deep. It cannot be solved by one person. It cannot be solved by the president alone. It cannot be solved by the alternative government alone. It has to be a collaborative affair. We are having problem not only in the country in general. We are having problems in schools, whereby our Gen Zs should be learning systems of elections. You know the reason why I might look a bit efficient, not too polished, just a little bit efficient on matters of politics. It's because I've gone through the system of universal suffrage. Mimi nimejitafutia kura ya vice president Mbuvi, Mount Kenya University, mara mbili. Mimi ninajua kuomba kura, ninajua kutafuta pesa, ninajua kuleta agenda, ninajua hizi vitu zote. Lakini sasa hawa watoto tumepata ama hawa vijana tumepata, my younger sisters and brothers, after hii story ya universal suffrage kutolewa, hawana rights in the universities. They cannot elect even their own president in the university because that right has been gotten away from them. So these are some of the things that the young people should be coming on the table with the government to negotiate about. We came to bring solutions to this show, Mbuvi and Hanifa. I am daring the young people of this country to engage the president on the front of repealing, as you're saying, if they ever become a referendum, I don't know, in 20 years or 10 years,
Yes.
that one of the point contact, I know this will be rubbed off by, of course,
What do you
institutions
think
of higher
young people
running.
want mostly now?
In the universities right now, for example, in the universities, young people want to know and learn how to, leadership. Leaders are born as well as they are made. I'm born a leader, and I've also been made a leader by Mount Kenya University. If it is not Mount Kenya University that sharpened my leadership skills, and Hanifa and Buvi, I wouldn't even be speaking the way I'm speaking. I wouldn't be knowing the kind of MPs and senators and the president and the deputy presidents as I'm knowing. I was given an opportunity by Mount Kenya University to go and interact with these people. And that is why I got the courage. That is why I got this eloquence. And that is where I got the wish and the urge to actually be a leader in this country.
And here you are.
And here I am.
And if I think
most
what young people want in university, they want a funding model that works for them. That's what they
okay.
want.
Yes, that's
because
okay.
Even when you look at newspapers, you look at news today, you see capitation for education is still going lower. And let's be honest, we have a lot of young people, sharp minds that are in universities and TVETs, but come from very disadvantaged.
Of them dropping out.
We have coming from very disadvantaged backgrounds, and you see, we have a lot of baggage coming to members who are MPs, legislators, and that's what even drives them to loot, because they have also a lot of dependents. Outside the system of working, because the model is not working, so people are depending on system ukunje nje system. So for me, what young students want, they want the new funding model to work for them. I work with the student leaders because at DCP you have a student caucus. Actually, we even have a NEC member who sits representing the issues of the students. And when I listen to student leaders, they went through the new funding model system that was brought up by the Kenya Kwanza government, and they give a report. Unfortunately, that report has never been received by the president. It has never been relooked. They did not even acknowledge and absorb the reports that were given, the solutions that were given, the remodeling that it can help and cater to the contextualized young people we have in Kenya. So if it can, if only President Ruto can be very keen in taking, solutions, because we are so learned as young people in this country. We are so literate. I even say that we are the ones who will go in to fix our country for ourselves, because we have the solutions already. We just need the opportunity to implement. If President Ruto can just accept this report, remodel, it can work.
Yeah. I have a question to both of you, because again, young leaders, women.
Yes.
Kenyans, there are some Kenyans who are planning to protest tomorrow. What other avenues other than protests do we have? Because it will be very unfortunate if tomorrow Kenyans decide to go to the streets and then we wake up to unfortunate news on Wednesday morning that we have lost brothers and sisters. What are the way? And by asking my question really is around us holding the government to account, the government and the leadership, because we do also have leaders in opposition who are not necessarily delivering for us. And I'll start with you. Which other ways do we have of holding leadership to account?
Mbuvi, unfortunately, we don't have other ways to hold leaders to account. We've seen that unfortunately our leaders and this regime only listens when there's a possibility of picketing, or picketing happens in reality. And we've tried all this thing, or we have dialogue, or let's do public participation. They're not even taken in. I would even want to just speak about my county. Let me even leave the national arena for a minute and go back to our counties. We have the county fiscal papers, the budgeting process. Let me say the budgeting process in the county. Do you know we mobilized ourselves in every constituency, because it goes round, give feedback to what we want to see implemented. Do you know the report that went to the county? That people did not participate. It was in the report, and we were there. We even took pictures.
Which
we even
county
shared.
is that?
Kiambu.
Okay.
So no matter how much we want to do public participation, offer dialogues, we've seen it's not working. They don't take us seriously. The only way this regime listens to people is when we picket. And that's why people will always go for that option, because it what delivers. And people want to see delivery. Taxes, we are highly taxed. And if people want service for what they give. So if I want something done in return to my taxes, let me picket, because that's the only way the government responds. And it's very unfortunate, because picketing is a lot of work. You risk, sisi tumekuwa maandamano.
Does it work?
It does work.
Apart from that one time in 2024 when the anti-finance bill seemed like it worked, because the president woke up one day na akasema enough is enough, fired everyone, akabakisha tu attorney general and your party leader. Then
we recycle.
A few days later he returned majority of those guys back. Recycling, like you're calling it.
Yes.
So again, I asked the question, does it work? Because MPs have been known to brag after that, saying that hata kile mulikata, eventually they just brought it as individual acts and they still achieved.
It goes to show you, I think, the other side, how they respond to people coming out calling for accountability and saying, we want this. We want this to go this way. And every person who calls himself a leader, I think, should come out and listen to what the people have to say, instead of shutting people down, killing people. I don't know, doing all sorts of things to stifle dissent. That is my opinion. And as a person that has been actively
involved,
Mwesh, does it work?
I would say 50-50. Not really. And it is very important to understand the genesis of tomorrow's protest. I understand it's because of the fuel hiking. Is it not so?
There is
Yeah,
that,
it is.
but also we do have folks like Governor Orengo saying that the president needs to leave now.
Unfortunately, I have bad news for Governor Orengo, is that the president will not leave tomorrow because in the constitution, he was voted in for 5 years, not 4.5, not 4 3/4, not 4 1/4. He was voted for 5 good years. And just like he was voted as governor of Siaya for 5 years, if we want him out tomorrow, it might not be possible. So wishful thinking, but it's not possible. I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but it is not possible. So we have to make it work. Apart from that, one of the most major reason people are going to the protest tomorrow, Hanifa and Mbuvi, is because of fuel.
Yes.
Can we talk about fuel? Does Kenya produce fuel?
We have something in Turkana.
Does it produce fuel, refined fuel? Does Kenya produce refined
Like
fuel?
he said,
Hanifa?
we even have a bill for the Turkana one.
But does it, as at now, since 1963 when we got independence?
We're going to ask you
Yes.
as someone in government.
Yes, but I'm asking you, since 1963 to 2026, does Kenya produce oil?
No.
No, thank you. So we depend on the Gulf countries to get
But
us
we have
oil.
Turkana.
Yes, but we have to hold on the issue of Turkana. We will talk about Turkana in the bill in Bunge. But the fact that Turkana does not produce refined oil, Kenya, as at now, we have no oil of our own. We do not have own source oil like Nigeria have or the Gulf countries. This is because I want us to paint a very real and factual picture to every Kenyan. So what the government does, we have to buy oil from Gulf countries. And before the G2G that hii yenye nimesikia imeleta shida, watu waelewi G2G ni nini, government to government. Of course we are going to delve into that. I'll have my input and Wanjiko is going to have her input, and of course you're going to have your input. So before the G2G, the government to government option came about, we had an option of tendering. We had 130 companies. It's also good to have data and to have facts. We had, in the time before G2G happened, that is the years during Uhuru's time and the years subsequently before that, we had 130 companies that had been duly registered to bring for Kenyans oil from the Middle East to Kenya. 130. But after the coming of the G2G arrangement, we only have 3 banks who do the payments for G2G. And I want every Kenyan to understand, the companies that were given that mandate are the Amco, the Saudi Amco, there was Abu Dhabi, and there was another company called Emirates. So we are getting fuel from there. And of course the G2G is not perfect, just like anything has its own pros and cons, yeah. But one thing that is good for Kenyans in the G2G arrangement is the 6 months credit they give to Kenyans, that we can get oil from Saudi Arabia for 6 months for
credit.
free on credit. That is one thing that is beneficial, because at this time the government is able to arrange themselves to have enough money to pay off the money that with the oil that we have gotten from Saudi Arabia or wherever. Additionally, on this arrangement, we are using the Kenyan shilling. People don't know that, but it is also good to tell Kenyans that is true.
It's supposed to stabilize.
Yeah, exactly, and that is what has
Kenyan
stabilized. That, thank you, Hanifa, you are
The
brilliant.
shilling against the dollar.
The shilling against the dollar, because you see, there was a time that the Kenyan shillings was exchanging at 160, but people ask now that Kenyan shillings right now is 129, 130. What happened? No miracle was done, by the way. It is just one decision that you make and it changes everything. Just like you're saying, one decision that can implicate everything else. That is, the G2G stabilized the Kenyan shillings because we are able to pay through our KCB banks to the Gulf countries to bring for us oil. So it is one thing to know that even if the G2G is not as perfect as we all know, the high taxes.
All it was meant to do?
No,
The
of course not.
G2G
It was not. It was also supposed to cater for things when we come back to Kenya after we have gotten the fuel.
Against
against the high world oil pricing, because you know Kenya does not make its own, even through EPRA, its own prices. They are the oil prices are directed by the oil pricing countries. Unajua sasa the global market oil pricing, and that is so it will definitely have to have a ripple effect on Kenya, and that is why we are having the high pricing of Kenya. I've had the debate on why Kenya.
It's not
cautioning.
Yeah, you've mentioned that it's supposed to, protect Kenyans from
the high
consumers,
pricing.
yes,
Absolutely.
from the high price.
Yeah, that is where I was coming. And of course,
has it happened?
Not 100%, but there have been gradual changes. At
What
least
changes?
we can appreciate from 2022, 2023, when they were having the monthly oil pricing. We would at least see the fuel is coming low, even if 2 shillings, 3 shillings, 5 shillings.
But
it cannot
went
happen
up just recently.
Yeah, just recently. And that is not because that is, we have to have an honest conversation, Hanifa.
Yeah, we're having an honest conversation.
Thank you. And it hasn't affected the war that is happening right now, has not affected Kenya only. It has affected any other country. Nigeria, for example, produces its own oil. You will not even imagine. But they're paying their pump price higher than Kenya. Yeah, no, slightly lower with 3 shillings. My apologies about that. I withdraw my statement. Not higher than
Nigerian
Kenya.
oil is way cheaper.
Three
Not
shillings.
by 3 shillings. I checked.
I was doing my research. Before I come for interviews and anything. I make sure that I'm looking at the research that I don't come to lie to Kenyans because I don't want to lie to them.
The Nigerian oil is currently at 140.
And Kenyan is at
197.
Nigerian and Kenyan wameachana na pesa kidogo sana, yet they are producing their own oil.
57 si pesa kidogo.
Yeah, that is a lot of money. I think 57 is a lot of money.
Listen, as we don't have our own source. First and foremost, hawana costs za storages, hawana costs za transportation, hawana costs za taxation, wao wanajiproducia. Sisi tumebeba mzigo yote, transportation, consignment, storages and stuff like that. We also have to appreciate that fact. Even South Africa itself, the fuel have gone up, yet they're on the coastline of
But we should also compare with East African countries.
Yes, that is
where we have.
Yes, exactly. I was coming to East Africa, and this is a challenge for you, Mbuvi and Hanifa. In East Africa, which is the leading country when it comes to Mambo's infrastructure and stuff like that, it's Kenya.
I think you're just saying what the president said.
No, I have actually not really.
The middle income country.
Yeah, we are a middle income country. Additionally, we are the country that will have one of the biggest budgets of 4.6 trillion shillings. Against Uganda that has 2.6 trillion, Rwanda, my apologies, I cannot remember, but Kenya has one of the highest. All the other countries combined, hakuna yenye imefikisha 3 trillion. So it shows you, even as we are making...
I thought we were comparing to Singapore and the UK countries.
You are the one who brought me into the conversation
yes, and
of
I'm
East Africa.
saying...
Please don't run away from me, Hanifa. It is better
I'll let you finish and then I'll ask.
Thank you. It is better I first of all answer the question you asked about East Africa before we come to Singapore. Safari ya Singapore waki tutafika tumechoka sana. Lakini lazima tufike. Asanti. Sasa Kenya has one of the biggest in East Africa budgets at 4.6 trillion shillings against all other East African countries. I want you to understand that as we look to bettering this nation, we have things like we want to have extensive road networks. We cannot do that without fuel. Something that East African countries don't want to, because Kenya is leading and Ethiopia is second when it comes, not Ethiopia but Rwanda, when it comes to road networking. Kenya, then Rwanda. Kenya have 161,000 kilometers of road network, one of the biggest in East Africa. It's actually leading, and then Rwanda. So, and Kenya is envisioning to build more roads to get to Singapore or to get to the levels of South Africa or to countries that have good road networks. We cannot get there without funds. The reason why the taxpayer gets too burdened is because of these things you are calling taxes or levies. Kwa hii mafuta yetu yenye tunanunua, kuna kitu inaitwa the infrastructure levy, the tax. The infrastructure. You know, I had people proposing that now that we have oil shortages, we should cut the tax. But my question
it's the United Opposition government.
But the question is, if we do away, and you remember where the infrastructure fund came from, it's because Kenyans want roads, and they want roads tomorrow, not tomorrow. They want roads yesterday, not tomorrow, because the roads we are having are impassable. And so the solution was, we have to get a solution for us extending roads. And that is where the infrastructure fund came about. Na kwa kila shilingi wewe unaweka mafuta kwa gari yako, kuna pesa inaenda kwa infrastructure fund. Is it 2 shillings or how much is it? I don't want to give people news that I don't know. 2.50 shillings goes into the for every fuel you fuel goes into the infrastructure fund, so that we can be able to make our roads. Is that a good thing or is it a bad thing?
Fuel levy has been there for a while.
Yeah, the roads are ongoing.
If they can suspend housing and we do the roads, you know, again we've said Kenyans have consistently said housing is not a priority. Ruto akikuja kupata watu akiishi nje.
Nani anakuwa
akupata watu akiishi nje. I don't know. So he keeps insisting on this because it's his business. That's how he's making money. But if we can find ways to cushion Kenyans on this fuel issue, and that's why we are saying kwanza EG2G to be cancelled, open tendering system, because again it's handpicked oil companies that are working with William Samoei Ruto. I go back to my point. This is it's a country led by dealers. For them, any moment they have to make money out of any situation that we have. So for us, we are saying cancel that G2G.
I had not finished my statement.
Yeah.
As we are looking forward to solutions, I had not finished because you had asked a question.
Okay.
As we are looking for
60
solutions,
seconds,
yeah, for solutions. I've said this on other media outlets. Let the government, we are advantaged to have the port of Mombasa and the storages in Mombasa. But also another thing we have to appreciate is that we have the ports of Lamu.
Yes.
Let the government maximize the land that is in the port of Lamu. Lamu is equally possible of having oil vessels docking at that Lamu port. So what the government should be doing, I'm in government and I'm giving this as a suggestion, and I know people take things seriously, and we have people listening from government, and I know I got a reaction last time I said that.
Yes.
Let us maximize the land in Lamu because it's aliable. We can have more than 1,000 oil storages in Lamu because the war that we are experiencing right now in the Middle East is not the last war. We do not know about the future, but it is better to prepare for the future than to wish for it. We are having people throwing things here and then wishing.
I think you're talking about the protests.
No, not really.
You're saying people are going to the streets because of the fuel prices, and then you digged into the topic, but you didn't tell us how it works 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the protesting.
Yes.
No, you know, as
You
enshrined
said
in the
it works
Constitution.
50-50.
I said it nilisema ni 50-50. It can solve a solution, yes. It cannot solve a solution, yes. But it is also very important that we be factual with ourselves. We have seen oil hiking in other countries. We've not seen protests. We have seen. Okay.
Your story ya protest bado nataka tuirudie.
Okay.
But there's something that you were saying, Thiga. What exactly were you saying in terms of the G2G deal? We get rid of it and then we go back to what we used to do before?
You see, because at the moment it's not doing what it's supposed to do, because the open tendering system, it's supposed to be an open platform, but at the moment it's serving specific oil companies because they're in business today with this regime today, and that's why we are as United Opposition Government, we are saying cancel that. We've also have other propositions, like we know remove VAT on fuel products. Again, it goes back to cushion, common mwananchi, because right now mfuko iko imefinywa kabisa. So how can we make it, how can we make life a bit affordable for mwananchi, so that tomorrow people don't go to picket? And these are things that we've kept saying as United Opposition Government, giving solutions that actually are able to do. Again, tushukishe nini road maintenance fuel. The road maintenance levy, because it has been increased from 18 to 25. These are things that government, if it has goodwill, it can do immediately. And I've said, abandon the housing project or remove the housing affordable housing levies. Housing is not a priority for Kenyans. It is not. Watu wako kwa manyumba, watu wanaishi kwa manyumba. This thing is not. But again, because it's a business for people, they will not abandon it. Kenyans have come to the reality that...
Is there an alternative to housing? Because I think we have slums like Ibera, Madare.
At the moment, what we are thinking about is, okay, watu wako kwa manyumba, but watu hawana chakula, health is not working. We want to safeguard other matters before
like
housing
other priorities.
Before housing becomes a priority.
No,
because
that's a beautiful question.
Because even with housing, it comes with other issues that first was like people like China are dealing with, and in Kenya at the moment, what we want to fix are things like health at the moment, and that's why you see TikTokers are fundraising for health every other minute. We are in groups.
People are going for protest to demand better for
healthcare in yes, in Shera, and they were short.
I think.
And if you can look at the situation that those hospitals look like, it is terrible. In Kiambu, there's a parent he died with a child in their arms. So these are things that are priorities that we need to first safeguard before we start thinking about housing.
I agree with you on. First of all, I think the G2G deal is a brilliant idea. How it was explained to me.
Yes.
Because I was told we are able to negotiate for 6 months.
True. On credit.
And it will help us stabilize the shilling because now at least every morning nilikuwa naambiwa apparently tulikuwa tunaamka every morning tunatafuta 500 million.
Na ni ukweli.
It is true.
I also want to remind you that during Uhuru's time, people forget so much. What is good for the goose should be good for the gander. It is good. No, let me just finish my point, movie.
Yeah.
If you never lined up to get fuel, let you be the first person to cast this stone. We were queuing for Nairobi, all over, not only Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, everywhere, because there was no fuel and because there was a lot of hoarding. Right now, since 2022, I want you to show me one instance whereby we have had people queuing for fuel.
Leave alone
before the war.
There is one, but you just said
leave alone before. I had not finished my statement. I wish you allowed me to finish my statement. Before the UAE fight came about, show me one instance whereby we have lacked fuel in this country. We have not had an instant until we got into war, and they started doing hoarding of oil.
You see, movie G2G was working, and it was a good system.
So and you know, the good thing is that when Rigathi Gachagua was in government, he was there siding the G2G agenda. But right now, he's on the roof of the cars saying G2G is not a good thing. Double standards.
I think the G2G is a brilliant idea. But now where I agree with you is unaona hapo kwa open tendering hapo ndio tujue kama ni wewe na wewe mnatuletea mafuta tujue for sure. And also we vet how you get to get that deal, because maybe I even have a better way of getting that fuel. So there I agree with you. But that G2G arrangement,
brilliant.
That one.
It is actually saving so many
but hapo sasa tuko na shida because at the moment the process or the system has been maneuvered to serve dealers' interest, and that is the problem today.
And everyone is saying that they do not know what mpaka nilikuwa najiuliza, okay, the way we talk about G2G like the way we talk about the constitution, apparently no one knows what is in that document.
But it is it's in public domain. Inachapishwa kwa eda to Google to G2G. Actually, by the way, the president cannot consent to something without it being made public. Anything, hata bill, hata policy, anything lazima iweka kwa gazeti.
And that's why right now you can look at a lot of young people
just Google
being very proactive
on a newspaper
about these things. But again, we are just grateful for the...
I think Kenyans truly understand. I read a lot of comments, honestly, and Twitter really educates me on a lot of things.
Actually, your comment section can really...
I don't know where the thing is, Mhesh. And I'll hold you utanipatia
kitu. I'll actually give it to you.
Wacha nisitafute tukua kwa kipindi. But yeah, so because I've had so many leaders saying we don't know what's in that deal. We even sat here with Martin Chomba. He's part of the fuel marketers outlet. Fuel outlets chairman. And he said, guys, we don't know what is in that G2G deal. So I'll trust him more than I trust anyone else because he's dealing with it on a daily.
No,
so
by the way, I'm very curious.
You can Google it, the G2G deal.
G2G
we shall revisit that thing.
It's a public domain document. Yes.
I'll still take you ladies back to that issue of Maandamano because I'm looking for a tangible solution that we can all deal with. The youths are out here. They'll definitely jump on that particular opportunity, and they'll definitely, if there are those who will be goonized, if I may call them that, if they will be,
unfortunately,
if they're given a little something to get on the streets, and yet they have nothing, of course they'll jump onto it. So the reason I was asking our solution going forward is because we are so close but yet so far away from the election. Yes. And we shall see a number of these Maandamanos going forward if we do not have a solution for it. Yeah. So what say you?
I think I want to hear her opinion on how other avenues, young people can vent their grievances when it comes to accountability.
Yes. For me, I've always been a good proponent of dialogue. all the time. And the reason I did not give this as an opinion is because hurriedly we said that dialogue is not an option. But for me, it has never failed being an option, dialogue. The only time we come in is when dialogue fail. But have we young people tried to look for an avenue of dialogue? I remember after June, the president selected a few people to go to State House and give their opinion. And I remember it was so heated.
How did that turn out?
It was so heated. That's why I was coming to. It was so heated that the young people are just saying things as they were. There's no sugarcoating. Tunataka hii, tunataka ile, badilisha hii, badilisha ile. It might have affected in some few ways here and there, like the dropping of the finance bill that they really opposed completely. At least on that one, they really
at what cost?
I don't know, finance bill, I don't know but it was not and it was busted actually. And it was not the finance bill that they were opposing. It was dropped by the president, and you can remember when the MPs went to State House. But at what cost? And at a huge cost, of course,
which Hanifa, was unnecessary, I believe.
At a very huge cost that the young people had to go to Maandamano.
Who do we blame for that?
Sorry?
Who do we blame for that?
We blame...
I think young people came out to say they don't want the bill. And then the members of parliament went ahead and defied the wishes of the people that they represent.
It is a collective.
And then people died.
Yes, it is a collective. It is a collective thing, Hanifa. This is why I'm saying that. All power in Kenya belongs to the people. But these people elected their members of parliament. There is something the members of parliament know that you do not know. Tuko pamoja mpaka hapo. It was very essential for the members of parliament to listen to the people, as it was essential for the people to listen to the members of parliament.
No, they represent the people, I think.
Exactly. Thank you.
They're supposed to listen to the people.
Exactly.
And represent them.
But you have given them your problems. They are bringing to you their opinions. Why not listen to them as well? I'm not here.
Actually,
siko hapa.
We remember when Senator
Siko hapa kutetea wabunge.
Finance bill. She couldn't even explain it.
Siko hapa. Unaona sasa because akiwa hage explain yeye mwenyewe, sasa watu wa hiyo constituency wanafaa sasa tuende huko to educate sababu akiwa kuna MP surely
our work is now to start to educate our legislators.
No, I'm saying like why would an MP be so ignorant not to know what a finance bill is?
But
we would be so ignorant not to know what the finance bill act of Moranga.
That's the reality. But
it is wrong. But it is,
and that's
we
why
can agree it is wrong.
It is wrong. Yes.
Any MP should, like, for example, I really thank God I became an MCA because I envisioned to be a leader in the future, even in higher capacity. This seat of MC has sharpened me. I know the budget making process from A to Z. I know CIDP, ADPs. I know the fiscal strategy people. I know how to come up with these things. If I was elected as an MP in 2022, fresh, my friend, I think I would also be having trouble in getting.
But Honorable Charlene, you're deflecting the conversation.
But he was asking. But he was asking about us listening to the people and the people listening to leaders.
No, it was about the cost of 2024 protests.
Hanifa asked about accountability, and I told her that young people walikata finance bill.
Yes,
and we elected 291 members of parliament to represent us. And there's something these 291 members of parliament know that we, the common mwananchi, we do not know. Why wouldn't we have a conversation? Mumesema mtaki finance bill. Mbona msitupe chance?
But we did the public participation, Mheshimiwa Charlene. We did
chance sisi kama MPs tuambie. No, there was no opportunity rendered to any member of parliament to explain what the finance bill was about.
How do we know?
They tried to go to media outlets like I am today. They tried holding microphones on the ground, but it had been so decided by the young people. They do not want, do not want, and they do not want. So in such a situation,
what's the rightful thing of the legislators to do?
It is called the members when you wapea kura, these young people, and have a dialogue and a negotiation with them, and tell them we are willing. The finance bill was not entirely bad. It is okay. It is fine. But we are having issues of taxation. Sawa, remove this, maintain this. That is how this situation should have been handled. We did not have to go to the streets to get to that point. Why did he
drop the bill in the end?
Because young people did not want the finance bill all the same.
That was the same situation in the beginning.
The young, first and foremost.
He dropped the bill after June 25th.
No, June 24th. And that
25th, after the 25th.
after the 25th.
25th.
And that is because, Hanifa, you're not understanding my
I'm
point.
saying what changed, I think. People
Because
already
the
came
young
out.
people the country is more bigger than anybody. The country is bigger than our finance
And
bill.
I'm saying,
the country is bigger than the president. The
people have
country
to
is
die
bigger.
for the bill to be
Of course not. The country is bigger than anybody else. And I want you to understand at something. The finance bill was not being passed in State House. The finance bill was passed in Parliament.
Yes.
Can we agree up to that point?
Yes. That's why people stormed Parliament.
Exactly. And every process in this country, that's why I talked to you about structures, have to go through a certain structure. Before it got to the president, it wasn't a bill yet. It was still in Parliament. It is the members of Parliament who passed. The president was not in Parliament. Until it got to the president, he said, I am not going to sign this. The young people have refused. It was still a process in Parliament. It is the MPs who sat down, both from opposition and government themselves.
So you're saying
and they
we
brought
had no power whatsoever
between
to manage
Parliament-
what had happened between people protesting, thousands of people protesting,
Yes.
and what was going on in Parliament. You're saying the president had no power whatsoever.
He definitely had power. Listen, Hanifa, I want you to understand that we have three arms of government. We have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. All three independently. Should the president be mandated? You are saying about independence in powers of governance. Should the president tell the MPs not to pass the finance bill?
Yes,
yes
he's a
and
party
no.
leader.
That's okay. I'm not arguing with that. That's why I said yes and no. But is Parliament an independent body? Yes. Does it have MPs? Yes. Thank you, because we are agreeing on that one. So it was.
It's independent on paper.
But generally,
Right
it should
now
be
we know
independent.
it's an arm of
It
State
should
House.
be independent. That is.
But today it's an arm
right
of State
now we are
House.
not looking about anything else. Constitutionally, the Parliament is independent. As you, Buvi, and you, we know it is independent. So by the time the finance bill was coming, so if we have independence in Parliament, should the MPs be taking? It is upon the MPs themselves to refuse the finance bill in totality, and that is why we have voting in Bunge.
And that's
It
why
is
we are
done-
saying it was
is
wrong for them to vote in yes. Well,
yes.
While everybody in this country, majority had said no to it.
I was
why-
repeat,
you know why I tell
the
you-
question I was answering
you
is
know
for
why I tell you-
Hanifa
yeah?
and the president declining the finance bill.
Okay.
So I was trying to tell her the reason he declined is because he had already known the young people did not want the finance bill, even though it had been passed in Parliament.
Do you know why I was telling? Why, do you know I'm saying that the Bunge is independent on this
paper?
Even judiciary is independent on
paper.
this. The reason why I'm saying that is because, number one, do you remember just a couple of weeks ago, Honorable Robert Mbui was kicked out of Parliament because he was opposing to that whole Kenya Pipeline Corporation. Yes, and he was protesting in Parliament the fact that they did not have enough quorum to debate that particular motion, and he was deemed to be, rowdy
Out
because
of- yeah, out
he actually
of order.
he got to a point whereby he was actually rowdy because he saw business was continuing yet
As
from what he
usual.
told us.
Yeah, there was no quorum.
There was no quorum, walikuanga kama watu 20 hivi. Now he was kicked out and the debate happened and whatever was decided was decided.
Yeah.
And then we can go and show many other instances where Parliament is independent.
That's a failure on legislation, because if we are having such serious issues as KPC is a public entity.
Right.
It is so every Kenyan should have a question on it.
Now,
and so the people we've elected should
Yes.
be there to represent us, because we cannot all fit in Bunge. And the fact that there was no quorum, that is a failure on the legislatures themselves.
Yes, that
for
is a
not showing
failure
up.
on the speaker.
Yes.
Because he should have done something about it.
Who was the speaker of the day?
Judiciary, on the other hand, is also on paper independent because we sat actually here with the deputy registrar, Honorable Paul Ndemo, I believe that's his name.
Okay.
And he told us that even budget-wise, they have got to go, and from how I understood it, of course, this is me paraphrasing, they have got to go and sort of gravel how they can be given that money. And if they do not have that money, then they are unable to run their business as it should be. So the judiciary also independent on paper, like in reality on the ground, kuna shida nyingi tena sana. So our institutions basically have got issues, mheshimiwa. Yes, that's
that
the
one I
point.
can agree, and that's the reason I told you the problems you're having as a country here are systematic. There are problems that cannot be resolved by one person, and that is why I've always said it is very multi-sectoral. The solutions we are looking for as a country, if we resolve one thing and the other one is decaying, it will affect the ones that we have resolved.
But it's hinged on the executive. It's executive, but it's not even systemic. It's the executive forcing or withholding financing and budgets if you don't do as it wishes.
So for example, today movie.
Yes.
Umeshikikana pale kwa traffic. Umefanya maybe a wrong turn ama umeenda before the green light. Na ushikwe na karau. Na upeane thao na uachiliwe. Ruto anakujia wapi hapo?
Ayo ni between mimi na huo karao.
Alafu, that is a systematic problem because you're contributing to the problems you're having as a country.
Very true.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the problem you have as a country, leo watu wanasema unataka birth certificate. Unaenda kwa chief akusainie, anakuitisha 500. Unapeleka kutoka kwa chief, unapeleka kwa dio, unaitishwa 1000. Rais anakujia wapi hapo?
Hayuko.
It is an issue of moral fabric decay. And it did not start yesterday. No. People should not feel bad about it. It is something that has grown from time immemorial. From, by the way, these problems you are having, they are coming from very, very far. That is why I'm telling you. Unless sasa sisi wote tuishe, sasa Gen Alpha na Gen Z waanzie hii Kenya, I don't know. But because that cannot happen, we should be coming with tangible solutions.
Okay.
Maybe the government should try digitalize all. Tuko pamoja?
All.
Not some.
Yes.
Digitalize all government services. It is possible.
Well,
to digitalize
the president directed that actually all services.
Yeah, but
sasa pesa.
Thank you for bringing up that topic.
Even the judiciary said they won't do it.
Thank you for bringing up that. Yeah, but thank you for bringing up that topic. And the reason it had issues and challenges, watu watakuwa wanakulia wapi? Makatels watakuwa wanakulia.
But mheshimiwa ni kwamba kitu moja. Kuna mtu inasemekana ndiye atakuwa the sole eater.
Hakuna
and that's why the e-citizen, you will see money like 6.3 billion be transferred to a private account.
Tukiingia stories za e-citizen.
Let me tell you,
we need another hour.
The reason, let me give you one benefit of e-citizen.
Yes.
Have you heard of the tourism fund?
Tourism fund?
Yes.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Had you ever heard of it for the last 10 years?
I wouldn't lie, no.
Thank you.
But it could have been there.
It could have been there. It should have been there. And Kenya should have been getting value for their money when they go to our national parks.
But the
pros let me finish, Hanifa. I'm just giving an example. I don't want to endeavor in other
we
agencies
have to look
and
at
stuff.
what affects ordinary Kenyans the most.
But you asked a
And it is
question,
the
so I should be
corruption
given
going
a fair
on
chance to answer.
Okay.
E-citizen, every time you go to those game parks, you do not pay to the guards just as it was Kitambo. Now you pay through e-citizen. It is the funds that are being used to build things like Bomas of Kenya. The Bomas of Kenya that people had been told Ruto ameinunua ameiweka kwa mfuko. No, it's a public entity. He cannot steal Bomas of Kenya from the people of Kenya. Na wakasema hakuna Bomas of Kenya itatengenezwa. Saa hii ukipitia hiyo barabara ya kwenda Galleria, you will see that Bomas of Kenya is coming up. No, it is not money from
tourism fund.
It is from tourism fund. You know, they went and built a very big house there on whatever road, and it was not functional until now. We had to say hii government services ya watu kuingia kwa reserves zetu wazungu na sisi kama wa Kenya. Lazima hii pesa, we have to show something for it, and that is why you are seeing the coming up of the Bomas of Kenya without us being asked to pay any more taxes.
When we brought that topic, there's so much systemic issues that are happening within the tourism space, because we even have the Masai Mara issue and the private hotel,
County of Narok and so on.
Yes. And then another matter, the e-citizen, it's somebody collecting all the monies together and moving money from public purse to a private account. And it's so serious because you wonder, why is so much plunder going on in Kenya? Are they preparing for 2027? Once we are done, they'll up and leave? Because they are packing money. They are packing. You see, you sit down and try to. You look at the patterns. Are they packing money? Where are they going? Because how can you move 6.3 billion public money to a private account? Like
maybe
hiyo ni pesa ya Wakenya umechukua ukaweka kwa account. Don't you think we'll ask you questions?
Maybe
and we will hold your account to account.
Maybe
Once
we
this
should
moves,
we should be asking one of your principals in the United Opposition why they packed up NHIF money and left before the collapse of NHIF.
Which person in opposition?
They know themselves when they were the Minister of Interior and stuff like that. It is on record, it's on Bunga, it's
maybe
on
you
TV,
can shoot that, but because
And,
you haven't even mentioned the name, I don't know.
Okay.
But you see, there's e-citizen picking money and just packing. Let's be honest, there's a pattern here. I don't know if they are planning to leave, but the plundering that is ongoing today in Kenya
Ni kama wanahama.
All
right, ladies, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for honoring our invite. Shout out to the following who've been watching, following and commenting. I might not be able to read your comments, but nonetheless allow me to recognize you. Ocheng Pin, risk reward, Peter Ndungu, DJ Wazimu, Saila Weska, Remy Tonui. We also do have Collins Oyaro, Fidel Ongoya. Hapo ndio nitafika kwa sasa, but thank you so much, ladies.
Tafadhali allow us to give our parting shot to every young Kenyan.
30 seconds?
Yes, every young woman and man looking forward to vie in 2027 election. I wish you the very best. Know that the field you are coming into is not a straightforward kind of path. It is murky, it is muddy, but as long as you believe in yourself and as long as you believe in the beauty of your dreams and the beauty of reviving or rejuvenating Kenya, I wish you the very best. May the Lord be with you, may the Lord bless you, may the Lord protect you, and may the Lord above all protect the nation of Kenya, and may we continue rising. There is hope. Let us not give up yet. Asante sana.
For me, is to encourage young people, please join a political party. It is one of the, it's not easiest, but it is one of the softest journey within politics. I attempted politics in 2022. I went independent. It was quite a steep hill. I don't want fellow young people to go through that route. Welcome to DCP. It's a youth-led party. We are democratic, and we want to see it's an incubation hub for leaders in 2027. I promise that the leaders I'm going to present in 2027 are young people who have a vision and are progressive leaders for 2027. Nobody's going to save us young people. Nobody's going to save Kenya except ourselves. So we have to do the job. Encourage every young people wherever you are. Dust yourself up, go to the ground, speak to the people, sell your manifesto, and to encourage Kenyans and to say this: no corrupt voter can be able to ask or question a corrupt leader. So we must go back to ourselves.
Powerful.
All right. Utakuja kutuambia ile kitu nataka lini?
Nitakuja.
Hata mimi mwenyewe
tukiannounce.
Tuwekelee mawe. Tumejipanga. The history of this country cannot be written if Shalini Wamboi is not there. I have to come. Asante.
Parting shots.
I also want to encourage young people.
Yes.
You know, especially majority of young people who don't maybe want to align with the major political parties to join other political parties. Please don't be mocked. Don't be discouraged.
Yes.
Any young aspirant, go out there. The world is yours to take. Young people with integrity who want to lead. Please go ahead and take it.
Amazing. Oh, wow.
Kuna message hapa nilikuwa natafuta. Kuna mtu amekupigia makofi amesema leo hujafukuza mtu.
But honestly, no, not even about behaving. I don't understand why anybody cannot hold a conversation with you, yet you are so democratic. And I mean,
I'm so
trust me, you have not met Hanifa yet.
I follow most of the conversation and I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
What trap is
I try not to scare people away. I don't act like my Twitter.